Hey everyone, how's it going? Can anyone please let me know in the chat if you can hear me? And yep, I see yes. Let me just check we're recording. Good stuff. Good stuff, guys. Let me just open some notes. I got some cool things I'm working on to help you guys. That's gonna be cool. Yeah, in the meantime, for those of you who are new, let me just one thing. Cool, I see some new names, new faces. Good to see everyone. Monday. So for those of you who are new here, guys, the way we're doing those calls is basically I talk, I rant, I talk about what I'm up to lately. And then if you have any questions, just put them in the chat. And while I'm talking, I'll go and answer your questions. If it's one question, if it's 10 questions, if it's 100 questions, I'll try to get to all of them in the next hour here. If you're new to this program, guys, remember, you can be overwhelmed. I'm actually going to go through that later, but I'm going to create, and tell me in the chat right now if you think it will help you, but I'm thinking of creating like a fast track program. So basically we have the full program, which can be very overwhelming, but very detailed. But I want to create maybe like a fast track program that's giving you like 5-minute video max. But in the end of each video, you're like, okay, here's the action you got to take based on all the lessons we saw of our other clients. Here's the action they took. And after each 5 minutes, it's like, okay, the goal of the, like after each video, I'm telling you, okay, the goal after this video is to do A or do whatever. And then you got to do that. And then the next video, so maybe a few videos like that, kind of like a fast track. And the goal with the fast track is to get you an offer accepted as soon as possible. And in my mind, I'm thinking if I can get you guys to get an offer accepted within like a week in the program, then even if you won't be able to close the deal, I think it will get you more excited to actually learn the details. Do you guys agree? Let me know in the chat if you think it will help you. Sweet. Robert and Shurmila, I hope I pronounced it. Man, I freaking love you guys. Awesome stuff. So if you think it's a great idea, let me know in the chat so I know it's worth working on. And then my goal is to have the program is kind of like the full small details, nuance. You need to watch everything to really master everything. But then maybe the fast track program is like a way for you to like get results faster. And what I found out is that like we're addicted to, we need dopamine in our life. Like the reason we're so addicted to our messages to WhatsApp, to Facebook is because it's giving us like dopamine hits, right? So my goal here is, can we get you dopamine hits with buying businesses? That will be freaking amazing if we can get that done. So basically, let's say, so what I'm thinking out loud, let me know what you think. I'm thinking, okay, first step, and maybe I'm going to go through some of the things that I started thinking about in this call, but basically I'm thinking, okay, you joined, first 5 minutes, boom, we're picking you a sector. It's like done deal. I walk you through kind of like the biggest lessons that we got. Boom, first video, you got a sector. Then another 5 minutes, it's like, here are the next steps you got to take to get yourself deals, right? And then maybe we'll even add like small short videos on how to use LinkedIn, email, letters, brokers, events, maybe how to even cold call. But I want to give you like fast action stuff. So those are for sure the first 2 steps, maybe a little bit of mindset and how to position yourself, basically. And to position yourself, hey, I'm an investor, basically, which is what you need to say. Hey, I'm an investor. I'm looking to buy businesses or invest capital in businesses. At this time, I can only handle a slower track. It's all good. Just so you know, guys, I'm not saying that it's going to replace the existing program. It's going to be on top of it, basically a way for you to jump into the water and almost fail faster. That's my goal for you. A lot of you guys are afraid to fail. And you need to understand the best way, like in my mind, I'm thinking if I were in your shoes, like, let me make an offer as soon as possible. Let me receive a yes or no. If I receive the no, I'm like, okay, I can make another offer. If you receive the yes, you'll be like, holy shit, someone accepted my offer. What the fuck do I do now, right? I think that will get you so much more excited to watch the full training, right? Which I know can be sometimes frustrating and long and overwhelming because there's a lot of content there. But at the same time, I'm like, what did you expect? Did you expect to buy a multi-million-dollar business and I don't know, to learn it all in 2 minutes? So it's like we need to find a balance, right? And that's what I'm trying to do here. That slower track message was from Javier. Yeah, no worries, man. Yeah, I can see your name, by the way. I can see your names, guys, when you message me. So all good. What else? So that's one thing I wanted to update you about. I really want to do that. That's one thing. Then, yes, if you're new to the program, stay engaged in the Facebook group, post your lessons, post your progress. Remember that whenever you teach someone else, that's the best way for you to learn. When you share your lessons with others, when you share your progress, you share what worked for you, when others could look at you and get inspired. Read the book, The Diamond Cutter, if you didn't yet. You will see, and in the Karmic Management book, you'll see how I look at success. Help others, right? Help others to help yourself. Whatever you want in your life, help others to get it first. Even if you're not there yet, just work on it together. And that's why I think having the group here is so amazing. It's like, and you'll see, the more you'll add value to the group, the more some of our superstars literally in the group will join the group and the interaction, and will help you and just share their value. Because we have some superstars in the group that some of them are just less engaged because they're just busy with their businesses, which is fair enough. That's my wish for all of you guys, to just be so busy with your business that you're like, oh shit, I don't have time to be on Facebook, right? But at least in the meantime, just do whatever you can. So yeah, for those of you again who are new, the ways for you to get support is use the Facebook group, post whatever question you have, use client@acquisitions.com. This is email just for clients, so keep it for yourself. We're also probably going to add like a chat option. So if you're familiar with Intercom, we're looking at adding that in the members area, so you could just send a message there directly. And then if me or some one of my team members are live, we can maybe just answer to you live versus you waiting sometime. Also, even with email, we try to get back to you within 24 hours anyway. So I think it's more than fair. So just stay patient. Those of you, I know some of you are asking us questions about, hey, can I partner with you, Moran, and all that. Just so you know, for those things, we only look at deals, companies doing 1 million in profit, in EBITDA, pre-tax profit. If you have companies who are looking to sell or raise capital, we can help them, especially if they're open to do IPOs. I think I mentioned last time, right now we're looking at 2 deals. And if we're going to take them public, the upside for everyone involved, for the client to send us the deals, for us, for the business owner, can be really amazing. One of the deals, just to give you an idea, is a client from this group, a guy just like you guys, who bought a business doing around 10 million in revenues, doing around 1 million in EBITDA. And he basically came to me, he's like, hey man, I bought this business, thank you. What do I do now? How can I grow faster? And that's how we started to look into the IPO routes, which is basically, can we take this company public? So he bought, just to give you an idea, he bought the business for around 2.4 multiples of EBITDA. I told him, hey, let's put a valuation on your business, let's say 3 times multiples. And then whatever we can raise capital at, or whatever we can list the business at as a public company, which can be, I believe, at least 4 or 5 times, right? If it's in private space, worth 3 times, I believe as a public company, at least going to be worth, the same company will be worth 4 or 5 times. So let me raise capital or invest capital myself. So I'll either put capital myself into all the listing costs. So to do IPOs, to take companies public, it costs money. It's minimum like a few $100,000. So I told him, hey, I'll put the money, and or I'll raise from other investors in my network who want to be involved, and then I will take percentage from the upside. So, and we have 2 deals. So one of those deals is a company of a client bought a business and now we want to go public with our help. And another deal we're working on is actually a company worth 40 million from a guy just like you who sent me a deal. He's like, hey man, this guy is open to go public. Do you want to work on it? And I'm like, cool, let's do it. So if we're going to take them public, the client, guy like you, which maybe is even on the call here, Alex, are you here? Yeah, I don't know. I don't see you. I don't see him. But basically, if we're going to take this company public, which is a process of a few months at least, we need to decide and agree when we sign the LOI, but it's going to be anywhere from 5 to 10% referral fee. So think about this. If the company is worth 40 million and we're going to list it at 50 or 60 million, and you're going to get 10% of that, 5 or 10% of that, that's a pretty nice payday for just sending a company. So for those of you guys who want to be involved in something like that, again, companies only doing 1 million in EBITDA plus, in any sector. We're looking right now at, so one of the companies we're looking at right now is a trucking company. The other one is a home care company. But we're super flexible on those things. So again, if you have those things, just message the details to client@acquisitions.com. I will then send you the next steps, and I can even jump on a call with you and the business owner to discuss some of the details. What else? Is it worth for 10 million Ethereum to go public given listing requirements? Well, Jeff said 250 EBITDA. Yeah, so 250 EBITDA, you can send them. I would say, yeah, 250 EBITDA, you can send them, but why there's noise? Sorry, Sofik, I'm gonna mute you. Yeah, so if Jeff said 250 EBITDA, that's okay. For least for taking the company public is going to be more. So let's say, yeah, 250,000 EBITDA if you want to work with us on a private deal, that's okay as well. Is it worth for $10 million for him to go public, given listing requirements? Well, it depends on what's the upside. For me, the way I look at it is if we can take it public right now, and for it to be worth 2-3 times more. And for me, I don't care about the value right now, so I'm willing to put the money right now, even if it's a few $100,000 of my own money, because I care about 3 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. I don't care about what it's worth right now. You see what I mean? So it's less about thinking short term. Short term, is it worth to be a public company? Probably makes no much of a difference. But long term, if we can then go to other companies and tell them, hey, look, we buy a company and we're a public company and we have basically a stock that we can use as a currency to buy you, right? So the same way that you're right now looking to buy companies with seller financing, you can buy with public stock, which is much more valuable, or depends, obviously, if the business is good, it's much more valuable, right? Like, let's say when Facebook bought Instagram, for example, they use stock as most of their purchase price. So for Instagram, okay, Facebook, you want to buy me, but most of the purchase price is not going to be in cash, it's going to be in Facebook stock. Is it worth it? Well, depends on the worth of value of Facebook, right? So if Facebook is worth it, then obviously that their stock's worth it. Maybe they had a lockdown or something like that, but heck, I think that if they just kept their stock for enough time, it, valued it much more than what they received on the purchase day. Are there any markets that you are focused on exclusively? Well, right now with those IPOs, no, but I can tell you that the deals we're looking at are right now. So there's a tracking company, the home care company that we're working on right now. There's a plumbing guy that's talking to me. But I would say I'm not focused. Let me give you a few sectors ideas that I actually sent someone who just asked me that. Let's see if I can find it real quick. If they will help you, and maybe, yeah. So I wrote down tracking, anything storage, warehousing, water company like water disposal, plumbing, electrical, metal fabrication, like even highway maintenance, traffic control, laundry companies, agriculture, cybersecurity, physical security, e-commerce, just businesses that are still working fine right now, even with the coronavirus thing that actually went up. And security, I just think that those sectors are really going to go up, like cyber and even physical security with the wars going crazy right now. So just think what can work now and what can work in the future, and that's just common sense. Online businesses are great as well. Heck, look at Zoom. They just grew a crazy. Zoom or Netflix, right? With the corona, they're having some fun there with their stock value. But yeah, so that's in terms of sectors. Are there any markets? Okay, so I answered that. Digital advertising, yeah, digital advertising marketing are great. Countries like Japan and Singapore, yeah, that's totally fine as well. Jeff said, cool. So I answered that. The story track, sweet. So let me walk you through some of the fast track slides that we created, and maybe it will give you cool lessons for today. Share a screen. So let me try to share my screen. And let me know if you guys can see my screen. Can you see this? Acquisition University Fast Track? Yes. So I'll quickly go through that just so you know. I'm going to record hopefully those slides within just like 5 minutes versions. But let's go through them right now. And if you have questions, just let me know and we can answer them right away. So, so first of all, decision, guys, and commitment. Just take a freaking decision without anything. Just make a decision. The best thing you can do to yourself is make a decision and be committed to something, anything. The biggest problem that I see with people is that they're just not able to make decisions. They're not able to commit to something, to themselves. They're like always thinking about what else, the grass is always greener. There's a better opportunity out there. Maybe I can build a Shopify store and import products from China and be a billionaire in a week. Let's do that, right? And every day they think something else. So please, guys, the way to be successful at being in life is just to stick to something, for God's sake, for once. Okay, so And let me just mute that because I can't see this. Sweet. So yeah, don't overthink it. From our experience, the members in the uni program have got results. Those who got results faster, they got one thing in common. They just took action fast and figured out the steps along the way. So we have people, just to give you an idea, when I say fast, I know people who watched all the program in less than a weekend. They did nothing but watching the program. The same way that you binge watch like a good TV show on Netflix, why the fuck won't you do the same with this program that made you millions of dollars, right? So those are some of the things you need to think about. So that's one thing. And this thing is all about action, guys. In the end of the day, you got to overcome your fear at some point. Just overcome your, where is it? Overcome your fears, jump into the water and learn as you go. I'm telling you, you will learn more after you have few conversations with business owners than many other things you do in your lifetime. You will learn about yourself, you'll learn about them, you'll learn why they're in a business, how long they're in a business, you will learn about yourself, what's your limiting beliefs, what you're not sure about yourself, your lack of self-confidence. All the shit will just rise up to the top of the water when you freaking talk to business owners. So do that. So today, guys, if you're on the call with me today, let's make a decision that you're going to decide on a sector today. Okay? And remember, imperfect decision, imperfect action is always better than perfect procrastination, right? Fail forward. Be okay with failures. If you're not failing, you're not making progress. I'm sometimes asking myself every month, what failures did I have in the last month, in the last week? If I'm not failing enough, it means I'm just not moving forward enough, not fast enough. I'm stuck in my comfort zone. I'm afraid. I'm staying in what's nice. Oh, this is nice. I'm gonna watch a nice TV show with my ice cream. You know, yes, it's fucking nice. It's amazing, but it's not gonna take you anywhere new. You know what I mean? If you want new results, you gotta take a different action that you didn't take so far. Period. Like, and I'm not, you know, I'll be fine if you don't want, if you're not gonna do that, but you just need to ask yourself, where do you want to be? You want to be in a different place? Just step the fuck up and become a different person. You know, it's as simple as that. And I'm not going to feel sorry for you. Like, you're the only one who need to feel sorry for yourself. And sometimes it's going to suck. You're going to wake up. You're going to be like, oh, I don't want to do any work. I'm fucking tired. I'm sad. Whatever freaking happened to you in your life, coronavirus, everyone is dying, whatever the fuck you think is happening, like, it doesn't matter. Just step up, drink 5 glasses of coffee if needed, or whatever works for you, and just sit in front of your computer or in front of your phone and just do the work for 1 or 2 hours. Get rid of your notifications. Don't answer Instagram messages or WhatsApp messages for 2 hours. Trust me, you're going to make so much progress in 1 or 2 hours than most people make in a fucking week. Right? Keep it simple. Keep it simple. Execute. Take action. Do the work. So, how to pick a sector? Think about your background. Keep it simple, please. Don't overcomplicate it. What's your background? What do you know? Did you ever have a job in the past? What did you do? You worked in an Uber. You worked in an experience. Cool. You have it. You worked in Uber. You have transportation experience. Period. I don't give a shit. Just use it to your advantage. You work in McDonald's. You have food industry experience, right? It doesn't matter. Just use it to your advantage and have confidence behind whatever you did. So I would tell you, I said here, stop the recording and write down 10 industries. You don't need to write 10. If you have just one, pick one. Uber, transportation, that's your sector. And like I said, if you're not sure, just be sector agnostic, right? Just be sector agnostic and go to whatever, and also region to focus on. Just pick a city, pick a country. You're not sure which city, which country, start with your city. That might be a good idea. If you don't want to be in your city, pick the rest of the world. I don't give a shit, it's okay. But consider the fact that if it's locally, it's going to be much easier for you. If it's internationally or just far away, you don't have necessarily to meet the owner face to face, but you need to understand it's going to be more difficult, period, because you need to build rapport with phone calls, with Zoom calls like this. Plus, in terms of management, you always... Who's painting on my presentation? It's not me. I don't know. That's weird. Or maybe it was. I don't know. Anyway, where was I? So location. Yeah, pick location. In the end of the day, you can buy a business in a different country and have someone to manage it for you. You can do that. It's all good. But guess what's going to be easier? Right? Most likely going to be easier for you to buy a business in your city, a business that you can go to every day. You don't want to do that? That's okay. You can run the business from far away and have a lifestyle business and have someone else running it for you. But that's just another layer of difficulty to find a manager. It can be, again, someone in the business to run the business, but you need to trust him. You need to give him equity. So you're going to be diluted. You're going to own less equity, right? So think about those things, those simple things, basically to consider. So if you're not sure, again, pick something. Let's agree that in the end of this video, you're picking something. It's either your city or the rest of the world. It's either your background or all the sectors. It doesn't matter. Just freaking make a decision. And trust yourself, guys. Trust yourself. People have made billions in freaking yogurt factories. There's a story, I posted in the group, the Chobani yogurt, the Greek yogurt, Chobani. The guy bought a business using SBA loan without using the dollar of his own money. He's now a billionaire, like 6-7 years later. So no excuses. Like I said, whatever you have, it doesn't matter. It's about who you become as a person. You become a business leader in whatever sector you want. And yeah, this should be passion. Find passion in business, in the fact that you're leading people, that you're becoming a better person, you're helping clients, your community, or just any other community, you're saving jobs, right? Focus on those things, or just the business practice itself. That in the end of the day, that's what's exciting in the business. The sector itself doesn't matter as much, just so you know. And so a few things. First of all, is commit to hard work, guys. I don't care, the 4-hour work week lifestyle and all that. Like I said, it's more than doable to do that when you buy a business, just so you know. I don't think there's a better way to get yourself a great lifestyle more than buying a business that's already running and already good and already have management team in place. But if you're going to start with that attitude, it's going to be really difficult to get there. The best way for you to actually get the lifestyle is to fucking work your ass off. And to work your ass off can be as simple as putting 1 or 2 hours a day of focused action that you're actually execute, actually focused, actually produce stuff. Because again, most people can't stay focused for more than 1 goddamn hour in their day. They just can't. So if you can do that, if you can actually take 1 or 2 hours a day of your day and actually stay focused, I'm telling you, you're ahead of 99% of the people in the world. And if you can be 2 hours focused a day, oh my God, I'm not even joking. Even for me right now, I've been in business for years. I made pretty much decent money. I'm still having a hard time to stay focused for 2 hours in a row on just one task. One task. Think about yourself. Can you stay focused on one task for 2 hours in a row without doing anything else? Can you do that? Like literally give it a test for yourself. It's fucking difficult, right? So what I'm saying is that you need to take, so initially I would suggest to you, work 24/7, learn everything about the business in your sector, everything. And what do you think is the best way to learn about your sector? Talk to the freaking business owner who's already running a business in that sector. Just go out there and ask him questions. It can be as simple as that. Become his best friend, ask him questions, build rapport. The best way to get a business owner to sell you his business for free is to get him to like you, period. Keep it simple, simple, simple. And like I said, one option is to look at it as, hey, let's buy one business and have a great lifestyle. And it's more than doable if you buy the right business, you have the right manager in place, you give him some equity, perfect. The other way to look at it is, hey, let's build an empire. To do that, you got to work your fucking ass off 24/7, no days off. It's like, this is your life. There's no work-life balance. There's just work, period. That's your work. That's your life. That's your balance. Just freaking work. And you just find a way to enjoy it. I can tell you, I'm working right now more than I've ever worked before. I freaking enjoy that. I wake up, I feel like I'm doing something that is big in myself. I think that's where real work and hard work can really work great. Guess what freaking notification I got right now? Look. Production versus consumption. I still remind those things to myself. So you should probably do that too. To really discover the best sector for you based on your values. Yeah, so we're gonna add some questionnaires and stuff like that, but it doesn't matter. The questionnaires doesn't matter, guys. Just freaking pick something. And remember, guys, let me know in the chat what sector you're gonna like. I would love for all of you to send me right now in the chat a sector you're gonna pick after this video. And if you're not sure about the sector, write down in the chat, I'm picking all the sectors. I'm sector agnostic. That's okay. So a few notes about mindset. You must grow as a person. The same person that got you here just won't get you to your dreams, period. You must grow as a person to become someone who's deserving your dreams. And it's about, again, focus on your character, concentrate on daily habits, meditation, see therapists, Joe Dispenza's work, whatever you can do to change. And always focus on daily action and execution and consistency. I'm still to this day see weekly therapy session. I'm doing like, I'm not telling you to do that, but I'm doing like psychedelic journeys and cacao journey that I've been doing lately. Meditations, whatever works for you. You got to find a way to dive into your fears, to your whatever inner demons, whatever you want to call it. You got to find a way to quiet your mind. The only thing that's holding you back from getting to your goals is your mind. Your mind is just talking bullshit about yourself. I'm not worthy. This is difficult. This is not going to work. This is scam. This is blah. They won't give me money. I need money. Blah, blah, blah. So much bullshit that's going on in your head. You got to find a way to just shut down this fucking mind of yours. So if you're not doing meditations or something, everyone have these different meditations. For some people, they just go for fucking run, right? I don't know what is it for you. Find something, right? Otherwise, it's just going to be super difficult, again, to take action for 1 or 2 hours a day focused on one task. You just won't be able to do that if you don't find a way to quiet your mind. And yeah, production versus consumption, perform action in the real world versus learning more, execution. Control your state by looking after your body and mind. Like I said, turn off your notifications, whatever you can do to help you right now. And the way to position yourself is you're an investor. We all are investors. We're investing our time, our money. The richest people in the world are out there are not using their money, or they're using it very little. Like I'm telling you right now, I can put a lot of money into one deal, but I probably want to do that because it's stupid, right? Obviously, every investor has got their own different thesis and whatever is way to invest. But in the end of the day, those who have the most amount of money are probably using the most amount of OPM possible, right? Who have the most amount of money? I don't know. I'm trying to think about it. Probably the Fed, right? Who's printing the most amount of money? Probably the Fed, right? They're using OPM. So that's how you need to think about it. They don't have money, but they're using other people's money, right? So let me just stop sharing that. I just want to see if there are questions in the meantime. So let me know in the chat. One second, I just need to scroll up to find the question. Sweet. What about staffing and recruiting sector? Yeah, that's great, guys. Staffing is great. Recruiting is great. People will always recruit people. So I think it's great, unless we'll get to a point where AI just recruits for everyone. But for now, go for it. Yeah, Chobani, exactly. Ron, everyone is busy, especially business owner. Why would they entertain you with your questions? Well, business owners will talk to you if you can add to them value, period. Now, can you position yourself with enough confidence? You don't need the board behind you, just need freaking confidence. Grab your balls and tell to yourself, I have confidence, I'm an investor. That's it. Just keep it simple. That's why they would talk to you. They will see value in you. If they will see value in who you are as a person, as a potential investor, then they will talk to you. Obviously, if they won't see value in who you are as a person, they won't talk to you. But guess who's making that decision? You first. If you don't see value in yourself, they will not talk to you, right? So first of all, see the value in yourself. And the reason for you to see value in yourself is because why not? Just keep it simple. Why not? You're not above or below anyone else in this world. I don't care how much money they have or not, right? You have 24 hours in a day. They have 24 hours in a day. We're all valuable. We're all equal. You're not above or below anyone else, right? So that's the only reason for them to see you as someone valuable. Start there, right? Then say, hey, I'm an investor. That helps a lot, right? And the way to sell yourself on the idea that you're an investor, because, and again, some of you have a lot of money here in the call, some of you have no money whatsoever. It's okay. The way to believe that you are an investor is just to think about, and I think I mentioned it a few times. If I told you right now, hey, I'm going to give you a Ferrari that's worth a few $100,000, and I'll tell you right now, so let's say I'm giving you whatever, you know what, a Bugatti worth like $1 million, and I'm telling you right now, hey, give me $200,000 by the next month, and I'll give you that Bugatti. Plus, I have a buyer for you. I just got to leave the country, but I have a buyer for you to pay you 1.3 million for that Bugatti in 3 months. but I can't wait for then because I got to leave the country. If you can buy the Bugatti from me for $300,000 in the next month or two, whatever period you, let's say 2 months, because that's usually the exclusivity period on an LOI, right? You can even put 3 months if you want. You can do whatever you want with those LOIs. It's on you, right? Obviously, get the other side to accept. But if I'm telling you right now, hey, here's a Bugatti, get me $300,000 in the next 3 months, and you got a potential buyer for 1.3 or 1 million in 6 months, right? He's going to buy you 100%. You're going to get like $1 million profit in that period. Are you able to raise $300,000 in the next 2 months if I'm giving you the deal right now? Yes, right? Yes, maybe some of you say, I don't know, I'm not sure. Well, here's my suggestion to you. If I will give you a deal like that, you should go to the freaking street and talk to every person you see in the goddamn street until you get that $300,000. That's the way to close deals. And that's the way you need to believe in yourself and in your deals. And if you don't, you just need to believe in yourself a little bit more or in your deal. Maybe and again, maybe it's not the perfect deal for you, and that's okay. You can skip. There's enough deals out there, right? So that's okay. Like sometimes it's just not the right business, and sometimes to wait for another deal is actually the best next step for you. We have a lot of clients in our program who got offer accepted, and when they got into due diligence, or even after they get the offer accepted, then they're like, holy shit, I got an offer accepted. Do I actually want to own this business, right? And it's okay. It's part of the process. You don't have to say yes, and that's what's cool about sending offers and signing LOIs. They're non-binding, right? It's not, you're not legally obligated to do anything. So think about that and look at every deal that you have. And taking me back to, okay, you're an investor right now. If you find the right deal, can you raise the money? The answer is yes, right? If you can do it with the Bugatti, you can do it with the right business. It's just about being resourceful enough to go out there and find investors. And guess what? The seller can be one of those investors as well. You cannot, it's very difficult to do. Like, you can come to the guy who offered you the Bugatti offer, and let's say I tell you, hey, give me $300,000 for the Bugatti. You know what's the first thing you should probably do? Who should you ask the money for? Probably ask me. Hey, Moran, I don't have $300,000, but would you loan me $300,000? I'll pay you 10% interest. Right? Think about it. That's what's cool about deals. It's just about, can you be creative enough? Can you think about different structure, different ways? And you can also go to different suppliers, right? Just be creative, guys. Think, open your mind, try to look at the world in different ways. That's the way to do deals. And you should always see that. Another super important thing, if I'm offering you that Bugatti, will you come to me and be like, oh shit, why would Moran talk to me to give me his Bugatti? Oh shit, I'm not, Moran is probably busy, right? Why would he give me his Bugatti? You don't know. Maybe I fucking need to run out of this country. Maybe I need to retire. Maybe I'm about to die. Maybe I have cancer. Maybe my mom is like, you know what I mean? The business owners have their own life. You don't know what's going on. So you always need to put yourself in their shoes. And you know how you do that? You just freaking ask questions. Hey, Moran, what's going on? Why are you selling this Bugatti? This Bugatti seems to be worth much more. Why won't you just keep Bugatti to yourself? Just freaking ask the questions, right? Be curious, be interested. The best way to be interesting is to be interested. Ask questions, learn about them, listen 80% of the time. Keep it simple, guys. Keep it simple. So yeah, hope that answers the everyone is busy question. Everyone is busy. Yeah. So do you. You're busy as well, right? Don't undervalue your time. Your time is as valuable as anyone else out there. K2 education, all sector agnostic, transportation. Love it. I love it. I see some sectors. Beautiful, beautiful. I find that mindset was probably the most difficult part of the process. Holy shit, man. Mindset is probably the most difficult part of life. So embrace it and just jump in. That's okay. Real estate, sector agnostic, FedEx routes. Love it. Engineering, garage, sector agnostic. Beautiful. Can we connect? Do you have any strategies for building sales and marketing team that we can use to grow our business? Do you have any strategies for building a sales and marketing team that we can use to grow our business? Well, you need to be more specific with your question, I think. What do you mean when you're saying strategies to build sales and marketing teams so you can grow your business? it depends on where you're at in the process. If you're going out there and you're buying a business that already have a sales and marketing process, then I would say find out what's working there first. Find out how they're doing marketing, how they're bringing in clients, how they're selling. Like the way you sell to thousands of clients is the way you sell for one client. So I would say the way to build a team that's doing your sales and marketing is to first of all find a way to get one client, right? And if you're buying a business, most likely they have a way. So just find out what's that way, and then just go and watch the first modules in the program. They're talking about creating like some kind of a process book. What is a process book? It's basically taking something that's working with one client, like just document the process, and then hire people and tell them, hey, here's a process, learn the process and follow it step by step, A to Z. That's the way to hire a sales and marketing team, or any team, any team members in any function in the team. Great, sure. Big League Capital, thank you. Joe hit me. Happy to help, love it. And I love to see that you're helping each other here. Yeah, so George saying, yeah, reach out to me, got 10 years of sales and marketing experience. Beautiful. Yeah, I love it. That's what this group should be like. Help each other. I love it. Warehouse, IT, SaaS, good answer. Sweet. Living assistant, beautiful. Yep. Love it. So you guys picking sectors. I love it. So that's the first step, right? Pick a sector. You all have sectors if you're on the call. Love it. Let's move on. Let me share with you another slide that I created. Where is it? Share screen. Let me know if you can see my screen right now. Yep, sweet. And sweet. So that's going to be kind of like the second day of the fast track, which is basically, here's my suggestion to you how you begin with this process now, right? So first of all, open your phone. You all have one of those, right? Phone, iPhone, whatever it is you're using. Freaking open the phone, and I want you to show off how many contacts you have, right? You all have something like this on your phone, I'm sure, right? Some fucking random people you never talked to or talked to once in your life. Guess what? Some of the best deals can come from that phone. So just reach out and just catch up with people. Be nice. And guess what everyone have in common right now? They're fucking home watching Netflix. So no better time to talk to people than right now, right? Reach out to them, talk to them, ask them, hey, how's it going? My background is in transportation. Do you remember? I'm actually looking to buy businesses right now. Do you know anyone who would sell his business? I actually have access. I'm part of an amazing network of investors, which you are right now, right? When you're in this program, I'm part of this amazing network of amazing investors. You know, I might be the lead, but if it's not going to be me who potentially buy your investment business, I have access to amazing people in the network that I'm part of right now. Would you be open, or do you know anyone who would be open to sell his business, or would you know anyone who might be looking to raise capital in the next years? Something like that. Just open the conversation, right? Ask for suggestions. Hey, do you know anyone? Do you know? I'm connected to those amazing investors. I don't know how many people we have in the group right now. 500 plus. Imagine everyone's putting $10,000 into your deal. You got a nice chunk of money to buy whatever business whatever business you want. And if it's not the business for you, guess what? You can introduce that business to the network, right? So that can be an amazing way for you to start a conversation with business owners. Hey, I'm part of this amazing network. I might be open or look to buy a business like yours, or invest in a business like yours, or do you know anyone who might be open for an investment? Because I'm connected to this amazing network of investors who are looking for businesses like yours, or do you know anyone who would be open for something like that, right? Use your network. This is so good. Even if you don't think, even if he's not going to answer you, so what? Just send him. If you're afraid to call them, send them a freaking message, text message, WhatsApp message. Hey man, you remember me? We used to work in the transportation sector together, remember? Right? We used to work in McDonald's together, remember? How's it going? Do you know anyone? Just freaking reach out to those people. You don't know who's connected to who. You just don't know. You never know. That's why whoever you're in touch with, always be nice to people. Always end up on the good side. You know, you never know. You just fucking never. The world is so small as well. So yeah, just let them know about your plans, and they might give you great introductions. So here are a few ways. Our top 3 ways. I don't know. why 3, 4 cold calls? I actually freaking hate cold calls, but some people love that. I need to talk to the person who put it first here, because I freaking hate cold calls actually. But call people, LinkedIn, email, letters, go to broker sites. Those are probably the fastest way for you to get access to deals. We should probably, I'll see if we can create like a short 5-minute videos on each. But if you go to the program to module 4, there's a video that I created on deal flow, and there's a masterclass that Matt did a few weeks ago, like 2 weeks ago or something like that, about deal flow. All the scripts you need are there. Everything is there. Just start to do something. Call people, LinkedIn, email, send letters, go to broker sites. There are sites right now. I just did some research. In the past, I used to send a lot of letters. Right now, you can send letters from online websites. You don't need to even write the letter. There are websites who will write the letter for you and send the letter for you. And the way to do that, I probably didn't mention it here, but just go out there, buy data. You can search it on your own, companies on your own, right? But I just like to go to sites like Upwork, pay like $50 for someone to give me like hundreds or sometimes thousands of companies, of database. They will give you everything you need. They will give you their name, their email, their phone number, their address, their whatever, their mom's name. They will give you everything. Just in $2, you'll get everything you want, right? That's how you get in touch with those businesses, right? So you go to Upwork, you tell them, hey, I'm looking to build a database of companies in whatever your sector is, in transportation. I'm looking for companies between 1 to 10 million in revenues, or whatever you want. I suggest you to start with 1 to 10 million in revenues, and get the data and start using those methods, and just start sending messages. And it's, again, consistency daily. What can you do daily to build your machine? That's your goal now. Can you build a machine? Can you send letters? Can you send emails? Can you do LinkedIn approaches? Can you call people? Can you call broker sites? How can you talk to brokers? Keep it simple. Again, with brokers, they're assholes. You just need to position yourself as the biggest ever. Like literally, like you need to almost, I hate to say that, but almost be a little bit of an asshole with them. Be like, hey, dude, why do you think I would waste time talking to you if I'm not serious about buying your business? I will show you proof of funds if and when the deal makes sense, right? That should be your attitude with them, with brokers, period. Simple. And if they think you're credible, they'll take you seriously. If you're taking yourself seriously, they'll take you seriously as well, period. And something that I'm thinking to introduce in as well is potentially putting myself in the future, helping you with some kind of a proof of funds letter. I'm not sure I want to do it right now, because I don't want to do it all manually, but if we'll find a way to automate the process and you guys think it will help you, then we might find a way to do it as well. And again, you don't need that, but it's just to give you maybe more confidence. But remember, just about confidence, period. You don't really need any proof of funds letter. And unfortunately, sometimes the only way for you to get a little bit of that confidence is to get a proof of funds letter. And the best way for you to get a proof of funds letter is to get some financials from a business. Go to a bank, say, hey, bank, I want to buy this business. How much can you loan me against that business assets or cash flow? And guess what they'll give you if you ask nicely and position yourself again with confidence? They'll give you proof of funds letter. Boom, simple. Now, can you imagine you reminded you got a proof of funds letter? Just imagine that and go and talk to the brokers or wherever you want to. So then people ask me, what do I say to those business owners, right? So first of all, start building that machine, right? Can anyone write to me in the chat that they're going to start building that machine? If you're not sure what to write, what the script, go to module 4. There's a video. Again, there's 2 videos, one of them that I created in Dealflow, one of them that Matt created, module 4, and see the attached documents to those videos, and you're going to see all the scripts or whatever you need to use. Or just freaking use your own words and say, hey, I'm an investor. Are you looking for an investment? And put your name in the end of the message, not my name, right? Just put your name. I'm an investor, I'm looking for money. I'm looking for you to invest in businesses. Would you be open for a conversation, right? Keep it simple, guys. Simple. The script, the right perfect script won't make or break you. They care about you. Business owners care about you, the person behind the script. Always remember that. But then what do you say, right? Here are some few things you can say, right? Here are a few questions. First of all, you can just be like, hey, how's it going? Thank you for taking the time. I really appreciate it. Just curious, what motivated you in my message to jump on this call, right? Boom. Listen, listen, listen. Just listen. Okay, thank you. Okay, cool. Ta-da-da, cool. Listen, 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 right? Then, okay, cool. Do you want to hear a little bit about myself? My background is in transportation. I've been in a few years. Now I decided to take it. I work for other people. Right now, I feel like I want to be my own boss. I'm part of an amazing network with amazing investors who can back me up, plus amazing institutions. I'm looking to potentially buy or invest in a business like yours. That's my background. So now I'm just in a conversation with you to see if there's even a fit here. And if we feel like it makes sense, then we can schedule a second call and explore it from there. Makes sense? Sounds good? Cool, awesome. Listen, listen. I'm just curious, how did you get started in this business? Okay, cool. Listen, listen. Oh, interesting. Oh, cool. Nice. Tell me more. What else? Cool. Listen. Listen, 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 listen. Interesting. Just curious, what kind of challenges you have in the business right now? Like, or just curious, why not just stay in the business? I mean, what's wrong? It sounds like you have a cool business. You built something amazing. Why not just stay and run the business right now? Right? Just keep running it. I mean, it sounds like pretty good business to run, no? Oh, cool. You want to retire? Oh, nice. Want to buy a nice home vacation in Ibiza? Cool, nice, interesting. What else? What else you want to do after, if and when you're gonna retire? Oh, cool. You want to do this with this, whatever. Da da da. They tell you your stories, right? Just ask questions. What else? What else? Just care about them. Listen, listen, listen. Curiosity, curiosity, right? What else? Cool. You wanna sell? What are you looking to do after you sell? We said that, right? Just listen, guys. Seriously. What else? What are your goals? What do you want to do? Where are you at right now? What's holding you back? What are your challenges? If you had a magic wand, what would you do with the business? If you had access to unlimited amount of capital, what do you think you can do with the business? Why you don't want to run it yourself? Why you don't want to run the business on your own? If you potentially going to sell the business, what's going to be important for you? Do you care who's going to run the business after you? Do you care about those things? Who are the employees? Are you in good relationship with those employees? Do you care about your brand? It sounds to me like you're in the business for 5 to 10 years. Do you care about the brand, or it's something less important to you? If you're going to find a good potential buyer, do you only care about the money, or other things you're going to look at? Right? Just ask questions, just common sense questions about the business, about the person, and show that you fucking care and give a shit about them. And then, yeah, so a call like this can take you, and again, it can be in a face-to-face, can be in Zoom, it can be in a meeting, whatever. The goal of the first call, and by the way, this can be 5-10 minute call, or can be 1 hour call. It's to you. So there are a few ways to look at it, right? The first way is to just decide. So just a few ways, and there's no right or wrong. What I would suggest to you is do your first call as fast as possible, build some rapport, ask some questions, and then tell them, look, in the end of the day, so it's up to you. I'd say feel the person. If you feel like the other side is very skeptic, is not really interested, then I would say make the call longer. But remember that your goal in your first call is to get an NDA signed, and you don't sign the NDA for you sign it for them. So if they're going to share with you financials, it's okay, but it's always great to offer to sign an NDA. It doesn't really mean shit. So don't be afraid to sign NDAs. I literally had someone to sign for me NDAs. We probably signed, I had points where we literally signed hundreds of NDAs a week. So don't worry about the NDAs. No one's going to sue you on an NDA. It's literally not even worth the paper it's written on. So that's first thing. Like, forget about NDA. Just fucking sign NDAs. It doesn't mean shit, right? It's not like you're selling your mom right now. Just sign NDA. And the way to position it is after the call, you're like, hey, thank you for the conversation. Thank you for taking the time again. Look, I'm happy to sign an NDA if it's going to make you feel comfortable. But for us to move to the next steps, we need to look at the financials so we can evaluate the business. And if it makes sense, we'll make an offer on the business. Does that make sense? Does that sound good? Awesome, cool. Then if everything works well, send him the NDA. And yeah, saying in order to evaluate the business, you will need to review financials. So send the NDA. We have the, the templates in the program. We have the basic information documents in the program. I think it's in the perfect meeting or something like that in module 4, but all those templates are in module 4. And if we're going to do this fast track thing, we're going to add that to the fast track attachments. But then you sign the NDA, you send them the NDA. The NDA should make them feel comfortable sharing with you their numbers, right? And when they share you with the numbers, now you're like, okay, cool, I have numbers. The only reason for you to get the numbers as soon as possible is to know the other guy is serious. He's serious about doing the deal here, right? Or at least he's curious. So not serious about doing the deal, at least he's curious to explore the next steps. And that's what you want to judge like as soon as possible. The faster you can do that, the faster you can make offers and do deals. That's your goal. Can you get financials as soon as possible? As soon as possible. Because you can't really make offers. You can, but the best way, like the fastest way for you to make an offer on a business is to get their financials, right? So that's why when you're talking to business owners, you want to build rapport as fast as possible, and then get financials, right? Get financials as soon as you can, and then. So this is the end of this, but basically, yeah, we have scripts, NDAs, request, basic information. Also, it's also in the in the program of what information you need to ask from the business owner for you to get like a full picture of what's going on in the business, right? But obviously, a lot of that information here is the information that you can receive on a phone call as well. And I would always prefer to get that information on the phone or in a meeting with that person, right? Even if they will give you everything on paper, I would always love to hear some of those things from in his own words, right? So that's that. Let me know in the meantime if you have questions. How do you organize your existing network? How do you prioritize who and when is to be contacted? Well, how many people do you have in your contacts? I would say if you have thousands of people, then start with those who own businesses or connected somehow to businesses, right? Don't message your nephew, right? Just common sense. Deal flow, baby. Yeah, exactly. Guardian 5, go to broker sites. Why do you say that it will be difficult to structure a deal later on? Why do you say that it will be difficult to structure the deal later on? I didn't say that it will be difficult to structure the deal later on with brokers. I'm just saying that brokers usually, remember how brokers are making money. A lot of them make money from flat fees, from retainers that they're taking from their owners, plus percentage of the deal. And most of them are taking so much as a retainer that they're getting to a point that they don't really care about the percentage, because the way for them to get the retainer is to promise the seller a premium price on their business. And when they cannot find a buyer to pay premium price for their business, they don't care because they continue to get the retainer. So when they talk to you, they're looking at you, they're like, hey, Mr. Potential Buyer, I promised the seller a premium price. Can you pay that? And your answer should be no. I'm not here to pay premium price for any business. There's enough businesses for sale out there. So that's why a lot of time and again, it's not 100%, but most brokers are unfortunately to some extent that way. That's why I'm saying in the program, when you talk to brokers, ideally talk to brokers and ask for deals that are listed for at least like 6 to 12 months, because then the broker is frustrated. He wasn't able to sell it. The business owner is frustrated. He wasn't able to sell it. And then you can get deals, right? So I'm not saying that you can't get deals with brokers. I'm just saying that overall, it's going to be more challenging. So you just got to pick your fights. There are benefits to working with brokers, on the other hand, that usually when a deal is listed with a broker, the financials are very organized. So there's benefits to that. If you talk to business owners in the past, you know that some of them just, their financial sucks. Like there's no financials. So some of those things are just something to consider. But then if their financials are really, really bad, you need to also rethink on if that's a deal you want to do in the first place. But that's another way for you to leverage the negotiation too, if their financial sucks, right? So it's all kind of like ups and downs, and you got to just pick your own fights in the end of the day. From my experience, many brokers are inexperienced in more creative deal structures and are not willing to facilitate them. Yeah, I mean, I agree. In the end of the day, they don't want to do creative deal structures because they want to get paid the retainer and they want to get paid a high percentage of their closing fee. So that's why they won't even open to that, or they don't even know about some of those structures. Yeah. And I see, thanks. But if you find a good broker who understands M&A, they can also be a huge help. Yeah, I agree. If you got the right broker who's willing to go for work for you and is open to be creative with you, then it's great. We have people who bought businesses from brokers. I think one of the interviews that I've done with Suhail in the program, he bought a business. I think it came from a broker. The deal was listed for more than a year. The seller was like, oh shit, no one's going to buy this business anymore. The broker was really like done with that deal, so he bought it for like 1.5 multiples of profits. The business doing around 1 million a year in sales. So again, I'm not saying that you don't need to work with brokers. I'm saying that just make sure you're aware of what's going on there, and ideally, yeah, go for deals that are listed for a while. Any other questions? Nice. I see we have 54 people today. It's good. It means that the hour is all right, I guess. Yeah, so unless you guys have other last questions, my plan is to hopefully get this fast track thing out there at some point. I would say go through this, what we went through today, guys. If you're on the call today, take action on this, right? So you all should have a sector by now. Again, if you're not sure what sector to pick everything, right? Same with the location. You should all start to build your pipeline of deal flow right now, and go, and if you didn't go through it yet, in module 4 we give you all the scripts and all the steps. If you think it will help, we'll try to maybe even create like a more detailed process on how to use LinkedIn and emails, although we do, like Matt's masterclass in the module 4 showing you exactly how to do that, like how to use LinkedIn and how to automate your email. And focus on one of those things. You don't need all of them. Like if you're just going to pick LinkedIn and email, I'm telling you, you're going to have more deals to look at that you're going to know what to do with, right? Just build that automation funnel for you. And yeah, Matt's class was gold. Thank you. I agree. Matt is a fucking legend with those things. He's great. So just, I said the biggest thing, guys, please implement those things, right? Use those things that will help you. They will help you. And get to a point. Talk to business owners. Get financials. You know, sign NDAs. That should be your fundamentals. If you don't have that, you know, it's going to be really difficult for you. So build those fundamentals, and then your life's going to be so much more easier when you have those fundamentals of so many deals to look at. You're starting to make offers, and then you're like, holy shit, this guy just accepted this offer. Now you need to ask yourself, is this a Bugatti or is this a fucking shitty car, shitty house that you don't want to buy, shitty car that you don't want to buy, right? And then you just need to decide with yourself, is this a deal that's worthy of me? Is this a deal that's worthy of my time? Is this a deal that I'm willing to do whatever it takes to go out there and either raise capital from institutions, from banks, from financial partners, from investors? Or is this a deal that maybe I can just be creative? Maybe it's just a business that you still want, but maybe it's not good enough to bring in investors. Maybe just, again, a deal where you can be creative and ask for the seller to finance part of the deal, right? Maybe it's a distressed deal. You can just offer $1 to take over the business, right? Maybe you can offer some value to get some equity in the business, right? Some sweat equity for just the value you can bring. And some of that value is literally some of the things you learn in the program. By you bringing, again, go through the first modules in the program, learn how a good business is being run, just by you bringing those fundamentals, good vision, good values, accountability, processes, right? KPIs for everyone to follow. Just being a good damn person who's being a leader, that alone is so valuable to businesses. At the end of the day, businesses are going up or down just because of their people, right? So just by you bringing that is worth equity, right? And to bring that, you don't need to raise any capital, right? So you got to think with yourself, find different ways to structure things. And some of you have existing businesses. Maybe the best thing you can do is just tell them, hey, you have a business like mine, let's merge, right? You have a business doing 1 million a year in revenues. I have a business doing 1 million in revenues. Let's just merge them and build 2 million a year in business revenue right away, right? So think about those things. Just be creative. Look at the word as creative as you can. What do you think? What do you do if seller doesn't want to keep the cash in the business when you purchase it? What do you do if the seller doesn't want to keep? Sorry, I missed the question, James. How long are typical terms of asset-based lenders? Well, lending. Well, it depends. If it's receivables, you usually just pay the interest, and it's on a ongoing thing. So you pay interest, but it depends. It depends on the deal. Some of them have balloon payments. It depends on the type of loans and stuff like that. What do you do if a seller doesn't want to keep the cash in the business when you purchase it? Well, it's something you need to negotiate in the end of the day, right? If the seller is telling you, hey, I'm taking all the money away, it's all up to negotiation, right? So you need to, if he's taking the cash, obviously that's going down from the valuation of the business, right? So it's just something, again, it's all kind of like back and forth. If you're going to show him, hey, man, I actually need that money for working capital, then, I mean, there's no reason not to discuss on that and just adjust the price. and terms. R is correct, but will it be possible to give some advance notice for these calls? These are valuable. So right now, as long as there's Corona thing, we're not changing the times of the call. So it's the same time every week with me, and then Jeff doing one on Thursday. And I know we sent an email definitely today, and there's also in the Facebook group, there are the events there. So in the Facebook group, you can see the events, and I think you can even sign up for the notifications on Facebook. So yeah, and we're always using the same links as well as part of the events. But yeah, if you're not clear on something, just message client@wozzy.com. Next class. How are you coming along with the fund? Yeah, that's a interesting question with me raising a fund. So the reason I even wanted to do this, just so guys know, and that's probably something I still have in mind, so potentially raise a fund to invest in your deals. What I found is that we're not ready yet. And just to be fully transparent and upfront with you, when I'm talking to investors, they will invest in me, but they will not invest in you, not necessarily you, but the fact that they don't know you. So what I'm thinking about is, how can we build a structure where I'm the person on front, but I build a better filtering system with you guys, so we can somehow know who's the person that's worthy of investment. So just I definitely still have that in mind. That's why I'm suggesting right now, if you want to use my funds, is bring us deals for IPOs, businesses doing 1 million profits, and that's how right now we can invest, because those are deals that I'm looking to take active role in them. But in the future, I want to get to a point where there's no option for someone to join this uni group and not do a deal. I want to get to a point where if you join this group, you bought a business, unless you died, or even if I died, you'll still have people here, right? So that's the kind of results I want to get with you guys. That's why I'm asking for feedback. So if there's anything you think that I can do to help, reach out. But don't think that you need my funds, especially for the small businesses. We just mentioned today, a lot of those deals, you don't need money. You just need to go out there and freaking make offers, right? So keep them. Getting proof of funds letter from the bank was very helpful information. Sweet, thank you. Any advice on exiting a full-time job to run the business? What should be the exit point? One, existing salary, or two, existing salary? Adam, it really depends on what is your goal, what is good for you. I would say, think with yourself where you will be in 3, 5, 10 years, and ask yourself, what is the best step for you? If you're buying a business and you're thinking to yourself, hey, I want to be in 5 years there, and you're telling yourself, so it sounds like my next best step is to leave my job and run the business day to day with X amount of salary that you can take from that business, then do it. Some of you might say, hey, I want to keep my existing job or business while having a different business on the other side, making me whatever is possible after all the expenses, right? So it's really a personal decision that I can't really answer. But it really depends on what your goals. I would tell you, let me just tell you this. If your goal is to build an empire in your sector, then your goal should be to leave your job as soon as possible and run the new business as soon as possible full time, so you can learn the ins and outs of the business, period, right? But if it's more about just lifestyle, and your goal is to eventually just have a business that's making you money from dividends after all expenses while someone else is running the business for you, then that's okay, and then it doesn't really matter. For $1 businesses, should I try to turn it around with a little or no experience in the industry? So yeah, if you don't have no experience whatsoever in the industry or in business at all, it's going to be much more difficult for you with $1 businesses, 100%, right? It's like anything. If you don't have experience in driving, obviously the first time driving a car is going to be difficult for you, right? And obviously the tips in the program is going to help you, but expect some challenges, and also understand that there's no real downside. Remember, just buy the business with a separate entity. And that's why I'm saying, if it's your first deal, always use lawyers. But I would suggest you just do your first deal, if you can, to build more experience, right? And protect your downside with a separate entity. But then obviously it's your decision on if and how much time you need to put in the business, right? If you tell me, hey, I need to buy a business right now for $1 down, there's no downside, and I probably only put 2 hours a day in that business, I can still make money from my other sources, for other businesses or jobs. Then I think it's all good. I think you should do it and can do that for the experience. And worst case scenario, the business is going to turn around and make you a lot of money. Or worst case is also it's going to shut down and just, I mean, worst case you lost some time, but you gained a lot of experience, right? So it's kind of like, again, very personal decision. Which is the best way to approach returns for investors, equity in a company or interest plus and capital payment? Well, if it's private investors, it really depends on the investor and his risk tolerance and his experience in sectors, right? If you go into angel investors who are used to invest in tech startups, they will go all way to invest in equity in technology startups. But some real estate investors, for example, might tell you, hey, just give me my 7, 8, 10% interest a year, and they'll be super happy from that, right? So it really depends on the investor. That's why, again, every time you're talking to a potential financial partner, investor, just ask questions and ask what they want. And obviously try to give them what they want. Would you buy business under one corporation or use a different corporation for each businesses you purchase, mainly if the businesses are in different industries? Yeah, 100% different corporations. You want to have different SPVs, different entities to buy a business, and you never want to use your name. That's how you protect yourself legally, especially if they're different sectors. Yeah, there's no reason to put everything in one entity. Even if you buy different businesses in the same sector, you can still put in, and probably should put them in different entities, just as subsidiaries. Please, can you tell me if you can still do no money down asset-based lending? Yeah, 100%. Why not? I don't know still if you can still do no money down asset-based lending. 100%. Just talk to asset lenders, tell them, hey, here's a business I'm looking to buy. How much can you raise? How much can you loan me against the assets? And just start to receive, what do you call it? Letter of intent or proof of funds or term sheets or whatever you want to call it. What lenders? You can start with the financial Rolodex that we have in the program. We have like 300 institutions you can start to talk to. I would say that's a good place to start. Is there any way to structure a deal to purchase a business without being legally responsible to the event of bankruptcy? Yeah, just buy with different entity while taking profit shares when it's running as well. Exactly. Just buy with a new entity. I have to keep telling me things have changed. They keep telling me things have changed. I have a head of terms. Well, it depends on the lender, it depends on the business, and depends on how well you positioned yourself when you talk to those lenders. It really, really depends. And if there's a specific thing that happened to you, I'd say, and you feel like you want more support, just email us at client@acquisitions.com. But obviously, some investors will be more, I guess, less risky right now. But I know investors are just looking to put money right now, right? It depends, again, depends on the sector, depends on the investor, depends on the sector investor, and obviously you as the entrepreneur in the deal and how much you can position yourself well. Every lender at the moment is saying 10% because of crisis. Well, yeah, it depends again, really, really depends. Yeah, I know people who told me the same when everything went well, right? So it really, 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 really depends. And you don't need financial institutions with a lot of those deals right now, especially now with the coronavirus. Like I said, there's so many ways you can do those deals without bringing institutions. And like, there's no excuse, guys. Go and use all the different deal structures that I talk about in the program, in module 4. There's so many ways you can do. We have Lyle in the program who bought a business without using an institution. You know what he did? He just went to the suppliers of the acquisition target and he got the money from them, right? So do you need an institution for that? No. Do you need 10% from the seller? No. Do you need 10% to get seller financing deal? No. To do aeronauts deal? No. To do a merger deal like I just mentioned? No, right? So those different things you gotta just keep in mind and just have, I would say, focus on building better relationships with the seller so you will be open to do the deal with you versus anyone else, and then you'll find the terms. Like, if you're missing that 10% and you really think that's the only thing holding you back, first of all, I would argue back with the institution, because again, it's a lot about your confidence. And unfortunately, those banks are freaking flea markets, man. Like, you gotta negotiate back. Swear to God, I've been to Thailand, I negotiated less with some of the people there in the market. I don't know if some of you went there to the market, but it's like whatever you do to just negotiate you down than with banks. It's just ridiculous. So you need to see banks that way as well. They need to make money somehow. They need to protect themselves somehow. And the more you can show them that you're the right person, the more they'll trust you. like one of the richest people, the Israeli richest person in the world, raised like, I think it was at the peak like $350 million from banks without personal guarantees. So, you know, and guess what? Why? Because his uncle or something was part of the higher level in the bank, right? So, and again, I'm not saying that's what you need to aim to, but I'm just showing you what's possible. And it's all about who you are, how you position yourself, how you talk to them. So I'll end with that, guys. I wish you a great week. Go out there. You all have sectors right now. Make offers this week. Freaking talk to business owners, right? Get financial, sign NDAs, keep it simple, talk to people, build the pipeline, just build momentum, make offers. Worst case, they'll tell you fucking yes, right? And then let's figure out how we can close the deal. Cool. All right, guys, keep engaging the group, message in the group, sharing everything in the group, like share your progress, help others. That's how you grow. And let us know, message client@acquisitions.com, anything we can do to support and help and make things better, let us know. Like, that's my goal. I want all of you here that I see now, I want all of you to buy businesses, right? And if you're not buying businesses, that's on me. So message me, literally tell me, hey, Moran, I tried this is not working. I tried this is not working. This sucks, you suck, I hate you, I love you. Just tell me something, right? Give me feedback. All right, guys, I appreciate you all. Have a great week. And yeah, see you next week. Take care.
The chat saying ready, if everyone's ready. Ready? Perfect. Cool. Excellent. Alrighty, let's dive into it. Let's try to get this done. My goal is to see here. And Anton, can you see my screen okay?
Yes, perfect.
Cool, guys. Well, just keep an eye on that right-hand side there, Anton, in the chat to make sure as people are coming in, we take them off hold. I want to make sure we, no one misses this. We are limiting it to 100 people. We're almost at half that now, so that's great. So, guys, look, let's jump into it. So, first and foremost, this is a masterclass. So, we're going to do a lot of really cool deep dive stuff into tactically and strategically. So, we're going to do some high-level stuff, and then we're going to do a deep dive into some stuff as well. This is not theory. This is stuff that we actually apply day to day. And in fact, I just did a test right before this masterclass 3 days ago. For the last 3 days, I've been doing a test to prove to you guys in real time everything that I'm doing to show real results. So I'm super excited to jump into this and share with you. So the big idea behind this masterclass, guys, is to show you how you can generate 30 to 50 or even 100 exclusive deal opportunities a month while only spending as little as only 15 minutes a day. And that's not hyperbole. I know we see these kind of Facebook ads and stuff everywhere, but I'm managing personally a couple dozen of these campaigns that I'm going to show you, and I'm spending about an hour a day. So I'm doing a couple dozen. So we're talking 24 to, about 28-ish campaigns doing this. I'm spending, like I said, an hour and a half. So I'm going to show you how I'm doing it and how we're generating 30, 50, even up to 100 exclusive deal opportunities a month. You don't have to go through brokers. You don't have to go through the auction process. These are exclusive deals to you. So message in the chat if this sounds like something you guys are excited and want to learn. Just say yes. Anton, we getting some responses coming in?
A lot of them.
Cool. And by the way, guys, there's nothing to be sold here. I'm actually just going to show you everything. There's nothing, there's no secret or anything. So I'm actually going to unpack everything. So my promise to you by the end of this masterclass here is, number one, I'm going to show you how to identify, find, and source the exact kind of ideal right prospect that you want to get in front of. Number two is I'm going to show you how to reach out to those prospects using something called my layer cake outreach framework. Okay, this is how you reach out to people in a very professional, articulate, persuasive way to get their attention and get appointments booked with you. Number three is I'm going to show you something called the ground game process. What that is how do you systematize and scale that so you're not the one that always has to do that front end work, where we can reach out and make contact with those people and it's just working for you on autopilot. And then lastly, which is the stuff that I think most trainings don't give you, I'm going to give you some spreadsheets, resources. I'm going to give you my personal contacts as well and some template examples too. So what I would recommend for you guys before I get into this is have your screenshots ready for certain things, because I'm probably not going to be floating around our scripts and templates out on the internet. That's not what we do. We don't sell this as information. I actually do this stuff for people like Wells Fargo and Merrill Lynch and all these guys. So what I would do is have your screenshots ready at certain points, just to take some screenshots and stuff. Moraine might have this as a recording afterwards to put on the training, but I want to make sure just in case you guys do have your screenshots ready and your notepad out. So, Anton, we're recording. We're good?
Yes, bro. Everything's recorded.
Oh, beautiful. Good. So guys, look, right now, we are in a window of an opportunity. So like Moran said on the Facebook group this morning, he is so excited over the next couple of years right now. And it's true. The economic window of opportunity is here. And there's a lot of things that are changing right now, right? And the three things that I see right now is, first and foremost, we have a blue ocean. There is a blue ocean that has opened up. And I'm going to get into why I see that, because I'm working with tons of investment banks, private equity groups and stuff that are hunting deals like you guys are, and it has opened up 2 or 3 times, okay? So there's a blue ocean opportunity right now during this COVID chaos. Your competition is sitting on their hands or they are retreating, and it's opening up a lot of new deal flow, and it's easier than ever before that I've personally found. My job's actually easy now. I can get deals 2 times easier than ever before. It's freaking great. I was actually a little bit worried at first, but it's becoming easier. Number 2 is people are in a sense of urgency, okay? People are feeling a bit worried, which makes them want to, they're thinking like, hey, look, should I consider an acquisition? Should I bring on an investment partner? Do I bring on a joint venture deal? Do I do strategic partnerships? People are in a state of urgency right now. We're all feeling, we're either in survival mode or conservation mode, one way or another. That's what we're all feeling. So your prospects are feeling that way, which thirdly opens up the feeling of intrigue, right? When we're reaching out to prospects regarding deal flow, they're actually interested to have a conversation with you. They want to have a conversation and talk because they're wondering where the market's at, right? What are the conditions like? Are they going to be okay? So there is a window of opportunity right now. There's no better time than now to double down on your deal flow and double down on your deal origination. And right now, like I said, you're going to have a 2 to 3 times influx. So who am I? Really quickly, I'm not going to spend 10 minutes down this. I'm just going to give you a brief in and out quick intro on myself. And why it's relevant. First and foremost, when I was 18 years old, I bought my first business. It was a property management company. So we specialized in commercial and residential. I actually bought that. I grew it for 3 years. I doubled it in 3 years, and I tripled its bottom line profit just by streamlining some efficiencies. And then I sold it. And then after that, I kind of get involved in more of the marketing space, more so lead generation space. And then that actually snowballed into me getting involved with a couple gentlemen where we started, grew, and scaled a 7-figure B2B lead generation company. We actually exited earlier this year to a management consulting firm in Los Angeles. So that was some pretty exciting stuff. We did that in under a year. And it's actually from using the same strategies I'm going to show you guys today on how to find deals, which is super cool, which spins me into how I got involved in this space. So I now work only with investment banks and mergers and acquisition professionals. That's all I do every day. I eat it, I breathe it, I bleed it. I only do deal making, deal origination. That's all I do. And so how we created that process was by accident. My first client, believe it or not, was Wells Fargo. And I deployed this lead generation system in their investment bank while they're looking for acquisition targets in healthcare. And I'm going to tell you what I do in a minute, but they were doing a lot of different, they were depending on referrals, they're depending on centers of influences and things like that to get new deals in the door. And what we did is deployed our process, and I got calls from their office saying, Matt, look, I don't know what you guys are doing, but whatever it is, keep doing it because our investment bankers have never been this busy before. So keep doing it. So I knew it was on to something. So after we sold that company, I actually opened up a business where that's all we do for mergers and acquisition professionals, exclusively for investment banks and private equity shops. So I'm working with some big names like Wells Fargo, Bowstead & Company, which has been around since 1828. They do go public transactions, capital raises, mergers and acquisitions, you name it. I work with a premium SaaS investment bank called Global Wide Advisors. And like I said, a few dozen others that are in multiple sectors, biotech, fintech, medtech, standard medical, standard healthcare, financial services, you name it, I've been in it, and this works in all of those spaces. If you want deals, deploy this process we're going to go into. And what we developed was a direct outreach system. It's reaching out in the marketplace like a lot of you guys are doing and getting your prospects' attention and pulling them in. And the 2 channels that I love to use, it's super simple stuff, guys. It's plain vanilla, but it's not what you do, it's how you do it. And the 2 channels that I use is LinkedIn and cold email, okay? And like I said, it's never what you do, it's how you do it. So some of you might be like, yeah, I'm doing that now, it's working okay, whatever, or hey, we've tried that, doesn't work. That's okay. I'm going to show you what we're doing to make it work really, really well. Okay, it's like putting a turbocharger on it. So first thing that I like about it is, number one, it's predictable. You can create a predictable stream of new opportunities coming in time and time again. Yep. Oh, did someone just say something there, Anton?
I don't think so. You can continue.
Okay, cool. Is everyone off hold? Are we still getting people coming in off hold?
People are still joining.
Okay, good. And you're taking them off hold, right?
Yeah, of course.
Cool. Number two is time. So this will save your time tremendously. Like I said, you don't even have to do any of this, like at all yourself, really. I'll show you what I didn't touch any of my stuff ever for my own deal flow, and it just comes in and people get on my calendar. Number three is you get exclusive opportunities. You don't have to go and, reach out to brokers and try to find these deals where, they're asking you for a bunch of crap, bunch of information and stuff, and just going through the auction process. That's annoying. You want exclusive deals, which this is how it's going to do it. And fourthly, it puts you in control of the process versus waiting for opportunities to come to you or, waiting for brokers to flip deals your way and stuff, which it's fine. That stuff's all good. But these are the main reasons why I like direct outreach. Cool. So let's jump into it. And first and foremost, I want to let you know one more thing before I get into it. One of my mentors told me this. He said, hey, look, he who can make it rain, he or she who can make it rain controls the game. So businesses live or die off new leads, guys, and new deal opportunities. And if you have control of that process, you control the game, right? Businesses survive off cash, right? That's true. The way you get cash is either from selling something or raising capital. How do you get that? By getting a deal or an opportunity. So leads are absolutely critical, and qualified leads are what we're going to go after. So here is kind of how I look at a deal-making process as a whole. I broke it out into six steps, and it's a high stakes, high pressure scenario. You guys are in like the top, high stakes, high pressure, I'd say career out there, right? And there's about 60 different steps. I know that, but I condensed it into 6, where really, obviously, there's the outreach aspect, which is the only thing we're going to deep dive into today. Then you kind of get on that initial phone call to really discover more about them and provide your pitch to them on who you are and what you're looking for and why you're a potential person to want to be that trusted pair of hands to buy their business, right? It's only one shot at the apple, technically, right? You get to get in there, make a quick first impression, then it's done, right? Quick first impression, understand if they want to sell their business, and it's in and out. That's why it's high stakes, high pressure. Then you kind of get that NDA, or you get the offering memorandum. You pitch them what you're thinking regarding how the deal should be structured, kind of moves into LOI negotiations, and eventually closes. So what we're going to do, guys, is focus on this outreach aspect to make this stuff easier. You guys with me so far? This all makes sense? Hit yes if so. We getting some comments coming in there, Anton? Anton, you with me?
Oh, sorry, was on mute. Yeah, a lot of comments. And if you have one question, if you mind reading.
Yeah, go for it.
How can we do fundraising for my deal, like startups?
Yeah, so I'll show you. So if you're a startup looking for funding, I'll show you some stuff, and you can message me later and I'll send you over some ideas as well privately. So cool. So let's dive into it, guys. And I'll stop here or there for Q&As as well. So I might just jump in and pause for a minute, Anton, to ask some questions. So first and foremost is with the outreach process, there's 3 big ahas that I've discovered during this thing. And it comes down to 3 big ahas. Number 1, who's the market? What's the message you're going to send to them? And what metrics do you need to look out for so that way you scale it, right? So it comes down to who's the target market. That's the source and cultivate part of it. Number 2 is what you're going to say to them. So that's the message. So how do you originate and season those deals so that when they come in, they're the right kind of opportunities. And lastly is how are you going to run good process on a day-to-day basis? Meaning, what are the metrics? You're going to measure everything. I'm telling you guys, it's the thing. I'm telling you, I bet you, Anton, how many people are on this call right now?
68 at the moment.
Okay, 68. I bet you there's probably about 6 to 10 of you that are actually only measuring every day. I can guarantee it. So most people forget this part, and you cannot scale. You cannot scale if you are not measuring. Okay, I'm going to show you guys what to do there. And it's the most boring part of it. Oh, it's but at the end of the day, it's like the financial statements, right? You've got to know what's going on. So here's the fundamentals of deal origination. And by the way, if you guys all left off this call right now, take a screenshot of this, because this is literally it in a nutshell. And then we're going to do a deep dive into all of it. Okay. So these are the fundamentals of deal origination. first and foremost is who we're going to go after. So we got to identify that target and understand who are those best ideal prospects we want to go after, right? Locations, titles, decision makers, what industries are they in, how big are the companies, what are the revenues, etc. And we're going to show you how to get big data and find those ideal targets. Number two is we got to communicate a message to those individuals that is novel, which means unique. It's intriguing, right? We make you seem like you're the prize versus they're the prize, right? We want them coming on the call saying, okay, not coming as much as in a defensive mode. They're kind of coming and saying, okay, this guy or gal is a player and I want to have a conversation about a potential acquisition. Number four is you don't want to come across as needy, which I see a lot going on as people are seeing needy coming to the table to want to have a phone call with someone. Is actionable. And I'm going to show you how to package that up. I'm going to show you real scripts. Who here wants the scripts? Type in the message saying script. I want to see how many people want the scripts. Anton, let me know if you see them coming in.
Yeah, there are a lot of comments.
Good, guys. Cool. So I'm going to show you exactly what I say. I'm going to show you one that happened recently as well, where I was booking 5 calls a day recently, just the other day, to show and prove to you that this happens in real time and what to do. And then lastly is good process. How do you run good process on a day-to-day basis? Okay, cool. So let's dive into the first big aha. Number one is who. How are we going to source and cultivate those deals? And that's the market. So this is the stuff that you guys all know and all go over. So bear with me. It's the boring stuff, but you know what? It's the foundation and the principles of everything. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. I'm going to move through it fairly quick and then we'll go into some other stuff. But first and foremost, you got to understand who you're going after that fits into your strategy. Maybe you have bolt-on business opportunities you want to go after. Maybe you have certain experience in a certain kind of background in an industry where you want to acquire those kinds of businesses, and you know the kind of exact strategy and what your plan is to find those businesses, right? Or sorry, what kind of businesses you want to buy. Number two is that's what's going to determine your messaging in your story. So your message, by the way, I think someone's off mute there, Anton, if you don't mind us muting them. This is what's going to determine your message and your story. So the message is really what we're going to reach out and say to people, and the story is how you're going to pitch them. What I would recommend most clients when they come to us, they have way too many industries and they're way too broad in their targeting. So they got, 5 or 6 or 7 different industries they want to go after. Don't do that. What I'm saying is focus on 1 to 3. If you focus on 1 to 3, your strategy is going to be more dialed in, and your messaging and your outreach is going to be more effective. And when you get on the phone with them, it's going to all tie in a very clean, concise way. Fourthly is identify what geographies you want to go after. Some of you are saying, hey, look, all of the US, that's fine. If you want to be all of the US, that's totally okay. Just understand what geography you want to go after and why your intentions are there. Number 2 is what sides of the businesses do you want to go after? Because that's going to determine part of your story too. If there is a company you're going after that's doing $20 million a year and then you're talking to $200,000 a year businesses as well, you're talking to both of them, they're 2 very different kind of individuals, guys, 2 very different initiatives, obviously 2 very different types of valuations, which means you need to outreach to them slightly different. What sectors are they in, or what subcategories? What background experience or passion do you have that makes it that we can kind of craft that messaging to seem compelling? And people never buy what you're doing, they buy why you're doing it, right? So I'm going to get into that in part of the scripts. So here's how you research. So let's get into the tactics part of things. So you guys might already be doing some of this, but I'm going to show you how we do it. That's why I have Sales Navigator up here and all these other things you see. So first one, let's dive into LinkedIn and how I do research via LinkedIn. And by the way, you don't have to just use this LinkedIn research process for exclusively LinkedIn. You can use it for other channels as well. So let's dive into it. Research tool number 1 is Sales Navigator. How many of you are using Sales Navigator right now? Just say yes in the comments if you're using Sales Navigator. So we got some people coming in, eh? Anton?
There are 5 for now, more incoming.
Okay, cool. So some of you guys are using Sales Navigator. I'm going to show you how we use it in a minute. But what's great, guys, it's only $70 or $80 a month. You can use this for like literally everything. So not just for LinkedIn, but for other things as well. There's over 575 million users on LinkedIn. That's a lot of freaking people, guys. Number 3 is you can get laser targeting and I put multi-use twice. I meant to put relevant information. You get laser targeted and relevant information that's live, up to date. So that way you know how big the companies are. Are they still in that industry? Is that guy still the CEO or business owner? And then, like I said, multi-use, meaning You can use it for LinkedIn, or you can use it for email, or you can use it as part of a Facebook strategy, whatever you want. So let's kind of, what I want to do is kind of create a quick case study and show you guys how I use it. And let's use a real scenario here. Pretend my sample target is $500,000 in revenue to $10 million in sales. They're in the US and they're a marketing agency and they're at least 3 years old. And the reason why I want it to be 3 years old is because if you're buying a business that's 1 year or 2 years old, you don't have enough trailing. The financials are not trailing far enough for you to get a really good sense of how predictable it is moving forward when you purchase it. Because the only reason why you want to buy a business is because you're looking to buy the future stream of the earnings of the company. And if you don't have a business that at least has a bit of a track record of 2 or 3 years old, you're not going to have a good sense of, how certain are you that's the good valuation, because they might have just had a good lucky year or a lucky last few months. So that's why I like to kind of put that last 3 years in. So here's how we do it in full. So first and foremost, you got to make sure you put what industry you're wanting to go after. So like I said, it's marketing and advertising. And then let's go back over here really quick. I said they're in the US. So let's go over to geography, United States. Go to United States. On top of that, we said they're probably doing around at least 500K, I think I said, or maybe 300K, whatever. You have to go to the company headcount. So they don't show revenue here. What I like to generally do, guys, is identify how much money does a business make compared to company revenue and headcount. Generally speaking, for every one employee a company has, it's between $100,000 all the way up to $500,000. In the marketing and advertising space, I know it's between $100,000 to $200,000. So if I'm targeting people in the 11 to 50, I know that if they have 11 people times $200,000, they're doing around $2.2 million a year. That's perfect. So I want to be 11 to 50. I want to make sure they've been in the business for the last 3 years. So years at current company, 3 to 5, 6 to 10, more than 10. And on top of that, who do we want to talk to, right? We want to talk to the CEO. We want to talk to the chief executive officer. We want to talk to the co-founder. We want to talk to the co-founder. And we want to talk to the founder. When you're done that, you go ahead and hit search. And so this is what you guys are going to see. It's super cool stuff. Okay, so you see a list here of around 10,000 people. That's perfect. What I would recommend is you go over here to this 3,000, especially if you're doing LinkedIn outreach. See where it says posted on LinkedIn in the last 30 days? Click that. Here's why. If you're reaching out to LinkedIn, people on LinkedIn, who would you rather reach out to? 3,000 people or even 10,000 people that are just there on LinkedIn, or 3,000 people who have posted on LinkedIn in the last 30 days, right? I would rather reach out to someone that's been more active in the last 30 days, because if I reach out to them on LinkedIn, I know that they are more likely to connect with me and then respond. So use this, okay? So always use this. So once again, we get US, we get the titles, we get the industry, we get the headcount, we get the years of experience. You can add other little nuances in here as well. So sometimes what I notice here is you might sometimes get some companies that are in some weird spots like software and stuff, and maybe you don't want software. So what you can do is, and I would look this up, it's called Boolean. So Boolean. You can do something, it's kind of like code, and you can say not software. And maybe you don't want PR either, or public relations. So that says that anyone that has the word software or public relations inside their profile, or SaaS, don't make them show up. So watch this. Click enter. Look, it cut the list in half. So companies that had the word software in their profile, or public relations, or SaaS, I don't want them showing up. So that way it made me narrow things in even further. So hopefully this is helpful for you guys. And yeah, so you can use this list like this. So once you're done, go ahead and save the search and name it something, okay? So that's how you use LinkedIn Sales Navigator as a whole to actually do research and save it. So I'm going to show you what to do after you're done with it. But for now, you save that as a database. You just go through it and look to see if these look like your ideal prospects. You can go ahead and open up the company profile right here. You can see that's 11 to 50 employees. You can open up and look at open up their company profile, read about them. All the information is there. You can make sure you see the right title at these different organizations. You can see how many connections they have. It's just beautiful stuff. So yeah, that's how we do research with Sales Navigator. So I'm going to show you how to applicably use this in a minute. So that's how Sales Navigator works. Research tool number, actually, was that helpful, guys? If so, type in the word helpful Type in the word helpful. I know it's a big word, but type in the word helpful if it's helpful. I want to make sure that everyone's clear and it makes sense. Anton, any questions coming in from that?
No questions. Looks like people enjoyed it.
Okay. Okay, good. Cool. Let's go to research method number 2, which is Facebook. So I'm not going to open up my Facebook and go through everything because we're running out of time here, and I want to make sure I'm efficient with you guys. But research tool number 2 is Facebook. What I love about Facebook is it's free. Obviously, we all know that. We can search different groups and find different groups on Facebook that might be your ideal prospect. Guys, when I first started and I was trying to buy I think it was a carpet cleaning company or something, I would just go, guys, there's all kinds of groups with carpet cleaners or power washing companies and things like that. They all like to cultivate groups on Facebook. You can go and find these groups on Facebook by simply using the search bar and type in landscaping or pressure washing and go over and use their filtering methods, to go click groups or whatever it may be, or maybe just trying to find business pages. And you can use the different filters on the left-hand side here to filter where they're located. So for example, I'm in Halifax, Nova Scotia. So I typed in Halifax, Nova Scotia, because I want there to be that relevance of me reaching out to them. I'm from Halifax, you are from Halifax. Category, I want it to be a local business or a place. And you also gotta do is just type in the exact industry and what other filters you want. And you'll get a whole list of companies or groups, and you can start using that as a prospecting tool. And what I would do is a couple things. You can either take those groups or those companies, take the pages, grab the URL, and throw it into a Google spreadsheet, okay? Take them, just throw it all into a Google spreadsheet. Or what you can do is you can use it as a direct outreach method where you can message the business page. So for example, this company here, Trim, you can go ahead, I could go ahead and like their page, click Trim Landscaping, go in and actually just message them out of the blue and say, hey, this is who I am, this is what I do. Are you open to an acquisition? If so, let's have a conversation. Thanks, Bobby. You can just go ahead and use it for direct outreach. Or you can take all of these companies, throw them into a spreadsheet and give them to a data miner, which I'm going to show you how to do, to data mine their emails so you can email them directly. Okay? So that's outreach tool number 2. Here's the third one, guys. No one has ever heard of this tool out there. I guarantee it. No one has heard of it. Type in the chat, say, tell me if you want to know what tool it is. Say, tell me. Anton, tell me how many are coming in.
There are a few coming.
So a few? Only a few you wanted, eh?
Well, there's a lot more now.
Okay, cool. Guys, you're going to hate me for this. I'm so sorry, but it's called Google. It's called Google. I'm just playing with you. Yes, we've all heard of it. It's Google simple stuff. Just use the simple thing of Google. Obviously, we've all heard of it. We're all using it on a day-to-day basis. Obviously, it's free. What's cool is when you type in Google, you can just type in, obviously, what you're looking for, dental offices in San Diego. And what I would do if I were you guys is I'd go into Craigslist as well. I'd open up the Craigslist part of it. So when you're searching it, Craigslist might come up. Grab that URL, throw it in a spreadsheet. Google Maps, I would give this search even to I'd grab this search, throw it into a spreadsheet as well, because you can have a data miner or a virtual assistant go through and grab all the companies in the Google Maps section for you and throw it into a spreadsheet. And you can find all these different organizations, obviously simply just going through Google and finding these companies and putting all their information into a spreadsheet or having a virtual assistant do it for you. So then what we want to do is once we have all that information, it's now time to data mine. So here's the data mining SOP. It's super simple. We got to, number 1, give them instruction. Number 2, we got to hire the data miner. Number 3, we got to verify the data. So what I do to find data miners is very easy. It's very, very simple. So a lot of you are probably already using this platform. It's Upwork. So once you have all those lists and all those searches from Sales Navigator, like let's say this search list right here, right here. Do you see this search list? Watch this. If I grab this URL and copy the link and paste it over here, watch this. Paste it right here. Watch what happens. Just watch this. Boom, it pops up for me. It pops up for me, and you can have that data miner, when you hire them, which I'll show you in a second, go through each one of these contacts and actually data mine their information for you. They just go ahead and they'll data mine all of those contacts for you. So let's go back to this really quick. Hire a data miner on Upwork. Guys, they're super cheap. You can get them to give about 1,500 records for you every month. for like anywhere between $100, even lower. I've got them even lower, $100 all the way up to $400, depending on how high quality the data miner is and what kind of data you're looking for. But if you just give them these lists of stuff that you found in Google, stuff that you found on LinkedIn, stuff that you found on Facebook, and you have that stuff for them with the instructions saying, hey, here's this link for Google, here's this Sales Navigator search, here's this Craigslist search, here's this and this and this, and you give it to them, they'll go out and actually just data mine the contacts for you, right? You don't have to give them much instruction. Everyone thinks that we have to handhold them. We don't. That's their job. Look, here's a simple example. I only wanted 50 contacts in the ophthalmology space. I said I want an ophthalmology practice located in Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas. I wanted them to at least have $3 million or more, or they had at least 5 physicians in their practice. And I prefer to contact the physician or a C-level individual within the company. I would also like multiple contacts if available for every given practice. I just sent that to him without giving him any links, at all. And guess what? He went and found all that data and gave it to me. Here's another example. Please data mine 500 LASIK practices from the following criteria. I gave him a Google spreadsheet or Google Doc. Note, please do not data mine any of the same contacts attached. So I made sure I gave him a list of people who not to message. And then they went and they'll go and develop the list for you. They'll give you a spreadsheet. They'll give you name, email, phone number, LinkedIn URL, all this stuff of the whole list of all the data that you want. So that way you have a big spreadsheet that you're ready to work with, okay? Now we're moving into, let's do a quick recap on how do we get in front of these people. So who? The market. So first and foremost, you got to get that deal criteria developed. Are you going after dental practices that are at least doing $1 million a year, that are in Boise, Idaho, and that's it, right? Number 2, you got to develop the research to actually get those lists developed through Sales Navigator, Google, Facebook, LinkedIn, Craigslist, etc. Consolidate those lists onto a Google spreadsheet. And then lastly is hire a team to data mine that information for you, okay? So before we move into the messaging, I'm going to show you some scripts and stuff to use to reach out to people. I want to stop here and put some questions in the box there, and I'm happy to answer them. So Anton, just watch that box and let me know what's popping up.
Yeah, there are questions. There's one. How many leads do we have to go through in order to get 50 leads a month?
50 leads a month? I'm going to show you that in a minute. I'm going to show you that math. So it's a good question. I would say it depends on your approach. And I know you hate that answer. Oh, it depends. Well, I'm going to show you the math. So let's say you reach out to, let's say you want 50 leads a month, and you know that every single time you send 100 emails, you're going to get 1 response. Well, that's a 10% booking rate. So I want 50 contacts divided by 10 means you need to reach out to 500 people. You need to reach out to 500 people a month. Okay. But if your booking rate is only 3%, you have to reach out to 1,600 people a month. If your booking rate is 20%, meaning you book 20% of the people you reach out to, you only need 250 contacts. Okay? So hopefully that answers his question. What else do we have, Anton?
How much do you pay for 50 leads from Upwork?
I pay about, let's see here, anywhere between $3.50 all the way up to $50. Depends how expensive, or how much data you want. If you just want name, email, phone number, company size, mailing address, and LinkedIn URL, it could be anywhere between 15 cents a lead or 7 cents a lead all the way up to $1 per lead. I've been willing to pay $1 per lead because I wanted more information, like have they done a recent acquisition and all this stuff, and if so, who was the acquirer and all this stuff. So depends how much data you want. Generally, guys, if you've seen a simple database, 20 cents or so. I wouldn't go any higher than 30 cents a record, like realistically. What other questions we got? I'll answer one more.
What do you suggest we put on our LinkedIn profile when we are interested in more than one sector?
I would put a few of them in there. So I would say we have expertise in blah, blah, blah. So maybe it's marketing, like what I did for mine. Here, I'll show you this. Hopefully, I think you guys will think this is cool. So I put in my profile, I'm an investor because I'm looking to buy deals. And so I put, are you a marketing agency? By the way, guys, screenshot this. Everyone get their screenshot out. I'm not going to go back to this. So are you a marketing agency, blah, 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 looking for an exit? If so, we should talk. After building, scaling, and selling multiple 7-figure companies and helping global brands, here's what we're looking for. I'm looking for this kind of criteria. Want to talk? Message me here. So what I would do is say, are you a marketing agency SaaS company or an e-commerce group looking to potentially sell or exit, I would call out the avatar that way. On top of that, I'd put something relevant to their space. I'd have a professional photo. I kind of have a nice little headline here that kind of is clean. And on top of that, guys, you got to get upgraded to Sales Navigator. So you have that gold badge. It kind of adds that credibility if you are going to use Sales Navigator. So hopefully that helps. What else, Anton?
Do you have VA or data miner? Is hiring both effective?
Yep, I always hire a VA. Always get a VA. I have data miners and a VA, so I'll get to that in a sec. So let's move into the what now, because we're running. I want to make sure I'm moving through this for you guys, and I'm gonna do Q&A at the end. So I'm gonna spare a bunch of time here at the end to go through a lot of that stuff too. So don't worry if your question didn't get answered. At the end, I'm gonna open up the floor for a lot of Q&A. So let's go into what the message is. So this is what everyone's obsessed with, which is great. It's very, very important what you say to people. So this is how you season and originate the opportunities. So here's the problem. We have something called the attention problem. It is hard to get people's attention these days. We're all bombarded by a bunch of different things, and everyone's sending pretty much the same stuff to the same people. And here's the biggest problem with outreach messages that I see. Now keep in mind, I've worked with about 500 companies to just make their scripts, and I've wrote about 5 scripts per company. So I've wrote 2,500 freaking scripts, all right? So what I'm about to tell you is absolutely freaking critical, and this is everything that you should not do or that I see too much of. Number one, you give way too much information and too much detail about who you are, what you're looking for, why you're reaching out to them, all this stuff. You give them way too much detail, too much, and it's way too soon. Like, you don't need to ask them all this information about, what's your EBITDA and all this stuff on the first message, guys. That's part of your data research. You don't do all that crap in a message. Yes, you can put some filtering inside of the messaging, but the more you do that stuff, the more spammy it looks. It looks unprofessional. The second thing is it's vague. It's not clear on why you're reaching out to them. There's no frame or context on who you are or how you came across their company. It looks way too similar to other messages they're used to seeing. It's not novel. You seem needy. So, oh, thank you for your time. Hopefully we can get together. Things like that. That's neediness. You got to remember, you guys are the prize. You guys are the bringing value to the table for these individuals. Or it's just boring. It's just plain. It just doesn't seem exciting at all. It's not clear. It doesn't look right. It's all clumped into one thing. So I'm going to show you kind of some stuff that we do. But first and foremost, who here hates the gatekeeper? I just want to know who here hates gatekeepers. Say yes if you do. If you don't, if you like them, say no. What are we seeing, Anton?
Well, there are people sharing the same feeling.
Okay, good. So we have a bigger problem, though. Gatekeepers are generally not a person. There's a bigger gatekeeper. It's called the croc brain. And the croc brain is a part of your brain that is constantly in skepticism mode. It's in suspicion mode. It's in fear mode. And its job is to protect you from danger, okay? The croc brain is what's going to filter your message when it goes into your head on whether or not you want to read it anymore. I'm sure a lot of you guys get messages on LinkedIn or email, and you see so much text and so much stuff, and there's bullet points and stuff. Your brain goes, not safe. I'm not going to even bother reading this. I'm sure a lot of you just scrolled and said, what the hell? I'm not going to read that. And boom. That's your croc brain activating, saying, hey, this is boring. I'm going to ignore it. Is it not safe? I'm going to run and get away from this thing. Or is it complicated? I need to get rid of it. You need to radically summarize what you're saying in a very condensed, clear, insightful format, and the right kind. You need to say the right kind of thing in the right kind of way. It's a narrative. So what your outreach needs is a social connection. You need to know why you're somewhat relevant to those people. And it doesn't mean you always have to know them or know someone that knows them. A social connection could be, hey, Bob, I'm in the marketing space as well. I was really impressed with your guys' company and what you've done. That's a social connection. It's cold. And that's a social connection to someone saying, thank you, it's flattering. Status, meaning you're not acting needy. You're not coming in saying, hey, John, I thought I'd reach out. I hope that's okay. Things like that. Do not do that. Just get to the bloody point. You guys are busy M&A professionals. Get to the point. You're just get to it. That's the thing. Thirdly is relevance. Is it relevant to them? So for example, maybe you guys are both in the same industry. Maybe you have experience in a similar sector as them, or maybe you've worked on the same kind of projects they have, and then fourthly is it's actionable. So I would like to know, and I guarantee you guys, look back at your scripts, how many of your scripts end in a question mark? Probably almost none of them. I'm not making fun of anyone here. I'm just saying that is the most important thing, is we got to call people to action. We got to ask them a question saying, hey, does next Thursday work for a call? Not, hey, I'm going to call you at this time. Is that okay? Or, hey, I'm going to call you at that time, at this time. Call me if anything else works better, period. That's not calling someone to action. That's leaving things up to someone else, and you're leaving things up for chance. I want to end with a question mark, being very actionable. Okay, so let's go through the email layer cake method. Are you guys excited to see some scripts? If so, say yes. You seeing stuff coming in there, Anton?
Oh yeah, yes, they're coming in.
Yeah, okay, good. Here's the 3 layers. The first thing is you got to have a social connection to someone right off the bat. And I'm going to show you a script right after this. I'm going to show you 2 case studies that are just very recent, even during COVID. Okay. First thing is social connection. You got to tie in some kind of connection on how you know them or where you found them or why you're reaching out to them. Why the person in their brain's going, why should I care? Why you? Like, why am I going to read this anymore? Right. Like if I reached out to any one of you guys and I said, hey, John, me and you are both in the acquisition.com Moran Paubert group. Boom, that's a social connection, right? Oh my God, cool. Okay, this guy, it's safe. Okay, it's safe. I'm going to keep listening. Value, it's novel, meaning it's unique. It's different. It's intriguing. There's a piece of information that you have that's relevant to them, right? Hey, Bob, I looked at what you're doing with your acquisition portfolio. I have some ideas that I think we might be able to collaborate on. That's intriguing. That's a piece of leverage. I have something that's relevant to them. Is this making sense, guys? I hope it's making sense, because this is really critical. It's the value piece. Actionable. Would you be open to a brief call for me to share a couple ideas and also learn more about your initiatives? Happy to blah, blah, blah. Does Thursday work for a call? Question mark. Thanks, Matt. That's the call to action. What do you want for them to do in a very simplified context, right? Do you want to have a phone call? Do you want to meet face-to-face, whatever it is? I always recommend going from a father was trying to buy some different landscaping groups, excavation companies, different things like that. So I sent out 6 messages to local companies with something very similar to this. And guess how many responses I got back? 5. Guess how many phone calls I had? I think 3 or 4, because one guy, we actually found the target. We found the company that we wanted to buy, so we didn't need to have the other meeting. So of the 6 we sent out, 5 responded back. We had 3 or 4 meetings and we closed 1. Just because we knew the space so well. My father owns a $10 million company, so we knew what to look for and who to go after. So it made the process much easier. I'm not saying for every 5 people reach out to you, you're going to close a deal. I'm just saying for us, we had a very dialed in process. So I'm going to show you a bonus edit that I did. I think it was Joseph. Joseph, you sent me some stuff over. Some other people did too. Joseph, I think you're one of the first guys that sent something over. So I'm going to show you an edit I did to a script. So let's go through this. Let's spend a couple of minutes on it. So first and foremost, the word count of your script, thanks for sending it over, was 175. First and foremost, that's too much. I would try to dial it down to about 110 or lower. Number 2 is you opened up with Dear Ross. Just say hi, I said. We're not in the 1800s anymore. We don't have to go, Dear Ross, we don't need to say that anymore. Just say, hey, hi. Never say, hey, say hi. Hi, Ross, or just Ross. It just opens things up in a more formal way nowadays. This is nice opening. I don't really have a whole lot of edits here to talk to you about. It's pretty good. It's okay. Over the last 12 years, I've been working in sales and finance in the auto industry and the commercial real estate industry. This isn't relevant to him because you're trying to buy a windows and doors company. You need to tie it back on how that's socially connected or relevant. So if I got that email, by the way, Anton, someone's unmuted. Can you mute them? It makes me wonder, why is this relevant to me? That's cool, dude. I'm glad you're in the auto industry, but it has to have to do with me. And then you said being an entrepreneur at heart, that's fine. These are some good notes and stuff, and I get it. I like this ending here. I just think this can all be condensed into 1 sentence or maybe 1.5, because it's just a lot. This is awesome. So I love this social connection, and it's super relevant to him because you looked up their company and stuff. That's beautiful. If you guys aren't going to be doing all the research on their company, put something else in there like I did, where I said, hey, I looked into your group. I was really impressed with what you guys have going on. just say that as well if you want, if you don't want to research it. But Joseph, what you did here to like research the guy, that's beautiful. And guys, by the way, for very specific targets, it might be worth doing a lot of research about their company, right? After visiting your website, so it's kind of vague and it's rhetorical. Like, it's obvious you want to reach out to yourself. It's obvious that you felt compelled to do it. You can just take this part out anyway. It doesn't really matter. And I'll follow up with a call. So too many logistics, make it easy, ask for a call. So I'm going to show you what I rewrote it with. And Joseph, you can just go ahead and scrape this if you want. I took it from 175 words to 103 words. The subject line should just be introduction. That's all it should be, just to get their attention. I'd go, hi, Ross. Hope you're healthy and well hope you're healthy and safe during these times. My name is Joseph. I'm a 12-year commercial real estate veteran, and I'm currently looking to add a windows and doors business to our portfolio of companies. So I'm trying to kind of tie the windows and doors to the fact that you probably have experience in commercial real estate. Like, oh yeah, okay, those guys probably have a lot of like things to adjust and stuff. So it makes it seem like a nice tuck-in. Congrats on your 13 years of success and also notable projects such as Four Seasons, Terminal 1, in the Pearson. Very impressive. So I just get to the point in one message. I'm curious if you considered an exit or an acquisition. So I'm getting my intentions up front again. Then their company, Bob's Windows and Doors, came up in research, and I was really impressed with your group as it lines up with what we're potentially looking for. If open to it, would next Tuesday work for a 15-minute chat? Thanks, Joseph. So Joseph and guys, if you want to take a screenshot of that, go ahead. That's kind of how I would redo it and repivot it. Hopefully that helps you and kind of sheds some light on how you should maybe reposition things. Joseph, I'm not doing a teardown here, brother. I'm just trying to show you some ideas of what I would do to adjust things to make it more clean, more clear, more concise, and just more relevant to the person, so that way they can, you get more book calls for you. So let's do a quick recap. Number one, always provide a social connection of some sort. Number two, have that value or leverage. 3, make it actionable. Number 4, don't act needy, right? You guys are M&A professionals. Get to the point. Let them know what you're looking for. So now we're getting into the systems part. I want to pause here. What questions do we have before we get into systematizing and scaling this machine with using virtual assistants and different softwares and tools? Put your questions in the chat, and Anton will read them out loud to me.
There is one question. Okay, more coming. I'm curious if you're interested of exit or acquisition. Acquisition of what exactly?
Of their business. So you can put that there too if you wanted, an exit or an acquisition of your company, of that. See, in my messaging, no one ever questioned what I meant. It's kind of obvious because I said I'm looking to add to our portfolio of companies. I'm curious if you consider an exit or an acquisition. So that's the answer to that one. What's the next one, Anton?
Okay, next one. Do you provide courses on all the things you outlined?
Maybe in the next month or so, we might come up with a course or something. I'm happy to send you to some virtual assistants that I use that can help deploy this for you. But yes, over time, we'll probably end up opening a course up to provide some help, because I know a lot of people want this packaged in there. So yes, I'll keep you guys in the loop if I do end up releasing a course.
What are your favorite valuation metrics?
I mean, first and foremost, obviously cash flow, profits compared, what's the cash flow comparative to revenue? What's the seller discretionary earnings, or EBITDA? I like to look for lifetime value of customers. That's really critical. I mean, retention for customers is really critical, because you want, like Jean-Paul Dejorier always said, you want to be in the reorder business, not the selling business, meaning you want to have clients coming back to constantly buy, and that's what's going to drive valuation over time. So if you guys see a business with a strong retention within a customer base, that's super valuable, because it doesn't mean you have to always keep going out and spending lots of money on marketing and sales to go acquire new customers. So lifetime value is important. Diversification inside of the clientele. So let's say you're talking to like landscaping or construction companies, and they might be doing 10 million a year, but 5 or 4 million of that money might be coming from 1 or 2 clients. So diversification across clientele. Another one is traffic diversification or conversion diversification. So if you're buying an e-commerce company, if all of their traffic's coming from Facebook and that's their main conversion module, I would recommend that doesn't make it valuable, because if Facebook ever changes anything or their system stops working, the sales stop coming in. Because remember, what you're buying is a future stream of the earnings of the company, right? If Facebook ever changed and something happened, then the company's wiped out. Trying to think what else. I would look at how efficient their assets are that they have it. So return on assets. I'd look at what they're using. I'd look at capacity. So if they're a car wash, I would look at how often is that car wash being used, the specific piece of equipment, and how efficient has it been ran on a day-to-day basis. So if it has capacity to run for 10 hours a day and it's only running for 3, well, then I would know that there's a lot more room in that car wash specifically for us to drive more traffic to it. So I'd look at how efficient are they at using their assets, and if there's ways that you can sell assets that aren't as efficient to make a bit more cash during that acquisition or whatever. Just hopefully those are some good notes that I would kind of look at regarding just valuation points of a business and kind of where some value is derived from. What's another question, Anton?
Do you set up business Facebook accounts and let VA run it, or do you run it through your personal account?
I run from personal. I'll do one more.
How do you make sure that the business will have a good future profit based on the past 3 years of performance?
I'm sorry, say that question again. How will I know if the business is a good future performance based on the last 3 years?
So yeah, how do you make sure that the business will have a good future profit based on the past 3 years performance?
Yeah, so first and foremost, I look at the year-over-year growth, and I also look at the month-over-month growth. And so year-over-year growth, if it's growing consistently year-over-year, that shows that it's going on a good trend. If it's pretty flatlined, that would kind of a bit of a red flag to me, saying like, hey, why has no growth been going on over the last 3 years? And looking at what they've tried to do to adjust that and what has worked and what hasn't worked. The last 3 years gives you a lot of insight as well when you're looking at different trends. So if you're looking at different assets they have and such, you can compare it to years before to see how efficient they were using it to produce operating cash flow. It just gives you a good sense of the more data you have, the more information you know on how well it will do moving forward. So if it's doing good, consistent year-over-year growth, you want to repeat what's already working, right? You want to know how has it been growing that quickly? What channels are you using to acquire customers? What are the different cohorts of customers that you do have that is driving this revenue, right? What different product suites do you guys have that are and what's the growth for different product suites year over year as well? And I look at month over month growth too. So maybe in some seasons it's very, very slow growth, and I'd identify why that's happening, and if there are certain things you can offset moving forward to arbitrage that risk in the future. So those are some things that I'd look for. So hopefully that helps, guys. So here's the how part. So let's systematize and scale this thing from using different tools and virtual assistants. So there's something, Keith Cunningham, which I'm sure a lot of you guys have probably heard of. He's the real dad in Rich Dad Poor Dad, or the rich dad. He's the real rich dad in Rich Dad Poor Dad. And he says doing ordinary things consistently equal extraordinary results. So ordinary things consistently done equal extraordinary results. That's from Keith Cunningham. And so this is the big aha number 3, which is how you do it. How do you then actually generate this deal flow? So there's 3 things, which is number 1, know your numbers. Know your numbers inside and out. Number 3 is outflow. So send messages every single day and do it consistently. So send outflow every day and do it consistently. And that's how you guys are going to build a scalable machine. And then lastly is build systems to do that. So the first 2, let's cover and jump into it right away. So you got to know your marketing KPIs and critical drivers. I did some quick math here to show you an example. So if you're sending 2,000 outflow a month, so that means either emails, LinkedIn messages, Facebook messages, 2,000, which let's say it's divided by 30 days. So that's 2,000 divided by 30 equals 66 messages a day. That's it. Either you can do it or you can get a virtual assistant to do it. And you had a 3% booking rate. So meaning 3% of people booked from those 2,000, you'd have 60 phone calls. Of those 60, let's say 75 looked like ideal prospects for you, 75%. That would leave you with 45 NDAs to sign. Then it moves into the sales process. Of those 45 NDAs, let's say 10% of them look ideal for you. Then you have 4. So you know every month 4 deals are going to be ideal every single month for you. And if you do that over a period of time, let's say over a year, you're going to have 48 to 50 deals to look at. And of those 50, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 might close, right? So you got to know your numbers and understand what those KPIs are. You can use this as a benchmark. 3%, that's kind of the lower end. Like I said, mine, I was doing complete cold, no personal research, just had VAs running it. And we had like almost a 12% booking rate. So run something like that, right? Like maybe use different numbers. So what's your outflow metric? What's your booking rate metric? What's your call metric? What's your qualified lead metric? What's your NDA? Then move it into the next step, which is, sales qualified lead or whatever it may be, and kind of get to understand those metrics. Then we want to jump into the ground game now, which is the mechanics. So how do we actually go out and pound the ground? So what we want to do, like we mentioned before, is develop that list in either Sales Navigator or cultivate those lists. Then you get that database of those prospects through either a data miner or LinkedIn Sales Navigator. You want to send a connection request to them, and then you want to send a certain cadence of messages. So send message 1 on day 1, wait a few days if they don't respond, follow with the second message, wait 6 days, and follow with the third message. And so you want to run that on a day-to-day basis. And obviously, whenever someone books a call with you, just have your virtual assistant let you know. I have my virtual assistant just email me once a day saying, hey, Matt, here's all the people that want to talk to you. Here's the links. Boom, 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 boom. That way I can just go in once a day and respond back to them to say, perfect, 3 o'clock works great. I'll talk to you then. And that way you run this process in full. So what you want to do is save a search like we showed before. Take your outreach assets, run the cadence, and have a VA or a software run it for you and do that good process. So here's how we do it. Once you have, this is what you're going to give your VA. By the way, everything I'm about to show you guys, I've never showed before, so I'd pay very close attention. Have your Sales Navigator, for example, if you're doing LinkedIn outreach, go over here and go right here and press connect. Once you press connect, it's going to give you an option to paste something in here. So Rick, came across your profile, super impressive marketing background, period, connect here. Matt, you can have this script ready for them and they just copy and paste it in here. Send invitation, boom, done. Get them to send 100 of those every single day. When that's done, okay, go up here, go to my network, go to connections. Wait for it to load. Sorry. TikTok. Okay, go to connections. Okay, good. Now what you want them to do is you want them to send that first message number 1, okay? What you want to do, see this Anthony guy? Press message and go ahead and message him. Send him a message. So then I'll be like, Anthony, thanks for connecting, like I did before. Nice marketing background. And then put your sales script in there that I sent, right? You do that for everyone that connected with you, at least in the last 24 hours. So have your VA go through and message all of these people, okay? So I'm gonna wait for it to load up here. Up till 24 hours ago. Okay, good. Up till this person right here, Cornelia. Then, remember how I showed you a second ago that you gotta go and wait 3 days for message number 2? Well, then they're going to go, those who didn't respond, they're going to go to message number 2 and send them the follow-up message, okay? So you guys have to write follow-up messages as well. So what I would do is go to 3 days ago, right? Because it says wait 3 days, right? Have your VA wait for it and go down to 3 days ago, right here. Where is it? Come on. Right there, wherever it starts. Right, it starts right here. Have them reach out to these people to follow up. So all they gotta do is click it, open it up. If they didn't respond to it, see, look, this guy didn't respond to me, right? So what I would do is have my VA go in here and respond back to them that day and go, hey, Eric, sorry if I dropped the ball, open to a call, and then I would put my follow-up script in there and press send, and have your VA go through all that every single freaking day and do that follow-up. And if they don't respond, once again, have your VA wait 6 days and scroll down to 6 days ago and have them follow up it that way. So no one goes in this level of mechanics, guys. I hope this is super helpful for you. And yeah, so I'll show you, I'll tell you where to get the VAs in a minute, but you can use software if you want. There is a couple different kind of software solutions that I would recommend. You can use, by the way, actually, I don't recommend using software at all because you can get your LinkedIn account banned, but you can use things like DuckSoup or Meet Alfred and stuff. But just get a VA. They're so bloody cheap and you won't get your LinkedIn account banned. So before I get into cold email, Anton, what questions do people have? So guys, put your questions in the box if you have any.
There are a few from before. So how can we do fundraising for my deal like startups?
Okay. Well, we'll talk about that one at the end, but anything specific around this stuff?
Well, there's a question that you basically answered. Do you use Meet Alfred or DuckSoup?
I don't like that stuff, guys. It can get your LinkedIn account banned. It will. I've seen it happen 1.5 million times, and I would probably not suggest it, but you can go ahead and take the roll of the dice. I'd recommend just a real person in there doing it for you every day. What other questions do we have?
How do you identify if a company relies on the owner for a client and contracts versus having a process in place that will generate clients, whether there's a change in ownership?
Say that once more.
So do you want me to repeat everything?
Yeah, just repeat it once more, yeah.
So yeah, how do you identify if a company relies on the owner for clients' contracts versus having a process placed that will generate clients, whether there's a change in ownership?
Oh yeah, that's a good question. So I would, so here's an example. In the HVAC company industry, heating, ventilation, air conditioning, space, a lot of that, like for example, in the commercial side especially, it's all dependent upon the relationship of the owner. That's part of the due diligence. So I would go and understand where these clients are, who these clients are. I would meet with them before I buy the business. With the owner, I'd have the owner maybe stick around if it is fairly dependent upon the owner relationship. And I would try to maybe potentially, if there's any risk, get some kind of signed contracts in place, right? If there's solid contracts in place, guys, that's what's important, right? That kind of comes down to, if a business is very relationship heavy upon the clients with the old owner, make sure there's solid contracts in place and make sure like that dilutes value, right? It dilutes the value if it's all dependent upon the owner. So I'd make sure strong contracts are in place. I'd understand who the owner, I'd meet these clients of the owner, and I would get the owner maybe to stick around for a little while longer after the acquisition to kind of make sure the transition's smooth. And obviously I have a non-disclosure agreement or a non-compete where he can't just run off of these clients later. To raise money for that other guy's question, raising the capital, I'd go and do the exact same thing, except I'd create a different script saying, we're looking to invest capital into companies like yours. Like it's the exact same thing, except you just find the target of the kind of companies you want to invest in, and you reach out and you solicit them to see if they'd be open to a capital raise. If you're raising the capital, I'd get a list of family offices or private equity or any kind of venture capital lists as well, and then shoot them a message in a similar way. But it's an entirely different script, but same fundamentals. Okay, so let's go into direct email now. Once you have the list that you've given your VA to Datamine or your data miners to Datamine, you then verify that list by using online tools. So just go there and type in email verification tools. We use Zero Bounce, right, Anton?
Yes, sir. We used Bright Verify before, but we transferred to Zero Bounce.
Right, there you go. Bright Verify, Zero Bounce, whatever. There's also Zero Bounce. Use those stuff. Verify the data because you can get your emails banned if you don't. Then create your outreach assets and then use a software to send the emails. I don't use VAs to send the emails because it's not as risky. So we use a software. I'll tell you which software we use in a minute, but there's all kinds of them, guys. There's reply.io, there's Replyify, there's outreach.io, there's all kinds of stuff. So just use a software. I'll tell you which one I use at the end, but use that and then run that process. It's very simple. Set it up. It'll reach out to them on day one. You can set it to wait 3 days, follow up the second, wait a few more days, follow up with the third. So run that process that way. So I have a couple more slides. How many slides do I have left? I have a couple more slides here. So the tools I use for LinkedIn, you can go ahead and use automation or a virtual assistant. I highly recommend a virtual assistant. Number 2 is use a tracking spreadsheet to track your metrics every day. You can get that with the bit.ly link I gave you. Use Sales Navigator to build your lists out, and then measure everything freaking daily. I'm telling you, every day. So that way you know what's going right and what's going wrong. Second thing for cold email is get some automation software, or if you want, use a virtual assistant for email. Get a tracking sheet, get your list of targets on a Google spreadsheet, and then measure every day when you're sending your outflow. Now, recap, guys, once again, let's recap everything again. Identify who your ideal prospects are. Who are those targets? What size of the deals? Where they're located? What matches your story of your experience and what your strategy is? Then reach out and communicate a message to those people in a very way that's intriguing. It's non-needy. It's actionable. You seem like a very high-status individual that is a professional at what you do, and it's novel. And then lastly, run a good process, right? Have a process that I showed you in the mechanics section to go on a day-to-day basis, execute this thing so it's a machine that can operate without you. Because I'm telling you, the marketing part of it, once you get it right, is the easiest part just to outsource, but it's the most critical. Because if you do not have new leads and deal flow coming in, you can't close deals, period. And while you're closing deals, if this machine isn't running for you in the background, well, guess what? You have no more opportunities. So when you go back to the well is dry. So have a good process. So, okay, you guys want to get my access to my tools and my people, go for it. So I use a gentleman named Daniel. He places all my VAs for me. He actually finds them, he hires them, he interviews them, he trains them, and he puts them in my company for me. It's literally pennies on the freaking dollar. It doesn't cost like anything. It's like a day-to-day hourly rate of next to nothing. I love using Daniel. Copy this. Actually, Anton, go ahead and copy her just a second. I'll put in there. You can go ahead and use him. I'm not in the business with him. He is he works with us. I'm not in business with him directly. So you can go ahead and book a call with him if you want directly. Oh, whoops, I accidentally sent it to someone privately. Everyone. Boom. There we go. Share screen. You guys can use that link there to book a call with Daniel to place your VAs for you if you'd like. For email, I recommend using Replyify. Replyify is the software that I use. It's like $99 a month, and they can do all the automation for you. Next one is use a tracking sheet. So take this bit.ly link. Here's the tracking sheet that we use. I'm going to put this in the chat again. Just a sec. Chat. More chat. There you go. Use that as the bit.ly link for the tracking sheet. You can have that for free. Use that. It's going to be really helpful. And then lastly is use Sales Navigator. We've already talked about it. Sales Navigator is for LinkedIn. It's how you're going to build your lists. And then fifthly, I think, use Upwork.com to find your data miners to actually data mine this stuff for you, right? Like I said, I data mine at least 1,500 contacts every month and pay anywhere between $100 to maybe $300 to $400 a month, okay? You can get them cheaper if you want, but that's kind of what you're going to be looking at. So that's pretty much it for today, guys. Here's the big 3 things to remember. Once again, go out, find deals, make offers, and raise capital, right? But it all starts with finding those deals, and hopefully this training was helpful to you guys, and it gives you some new insight and ways to find new deals in order to make those offers and eventually raise some capital for those and fund those deals. So I'm going to open the floor up for just a couple minutes here for Q&A. So I'll stop sharing my screen and answer some questions here. Thank you. Yeah, no problem, Victor. Sean, what criteria are you using when you're looking for data miners? I look at their reviews. So I go and just look at the reviews, see what kind of experience they have, how many projects they've worked on as well. And here's the key, guys. Get them to do a sample, a test. Give them some criteria and say, hey, I'll pay you for this, but go and get me 20 targets of this ideal prospect and send it to them and see what they do. Brian, thanks. I'm glad you found this valuable. I have a membership to turn around. Would you trust someone on Upwork to give them my info? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we give our VAs and like, dude, these data miners, as soon as I use one off, I give them access to my LinkedIn. So Upwork protects you fairly well. So when you're hiring off Upwork, it kind of protects you contractually and stuff. So yeah, I would give people access to that. I mean, use your judgment on what kind of information you want to give people. I personally am pretty loose with some stuff, just because I'm hiring people off a secured website like Upwork, and they never want to screw you over. They always want to keep working with you. So I would recommend that. Do you recommend working in the business for a few months? 100%, guys. So that's my perspective. Like, you don't need to, but I think you need to. It depends where you're at. Like, maybe you guys are experienced executives, right? And maybe you don't need to. But if you don't have experience in a space or you want to understand it a little bit, either have you or one of your trusted people that maybe you bought the business with work within your new acquisition target for a little while to get a sense of how things are, because that's how you build trust with employees too, right? When you buy a business, the culture is everything, right? Yes, you can let a business sit on autopilot and do its thing, but guys, let's be freaking real here. Like, business comes down to people, and people want to trust you. And if you're someone that kind of rolled up your sleeves and got involved to understand things, that's what's going to make the big difference after you're done buying your deal, to keep people around, keep a business running, and to bring in more talent to keep the vision and the team and the big dream going. How to secure my fees or share when I bring a buyer? Okay, how to secure my fees or share when I bring a buyer in the deal closed? So I think what you're talking about is, how can I secure my fees or share when I bring my buyer in? Oh, can you mute someone there, Anton? So how do I secure my fees or share when I bring a buyer in the deal close? Okay, I know what you're saying. How do you kind of make sure that happens? Good question. I would, number one, understand who it is that you're bringing to the table. You got to make sure that there's two trustworthy parties, and they have a verifiable background. You can go look up who they are. I've been offered $10,000 a month to do consulting for a commercial real estate company to find them deals, and they would give me this big back end commission. Apparently, this is a hedge fund, right? And they're lending $1 billion. I couldn't find anything on these guys, so I didn't even do business with them because it sounded shady and it sounded weird. And I've heard that these guys both went bankrupt, and by doing shady things, there's nothing wrong with going bankrupt. I'm just saying, when you do it doing very shady things, it makes me not want to do business. So I'd first find out who you're doing business with, because at the end of the day, guys, contracts mean shit unless you're doing business with credible people. What are the main points you want to hit with the initial conversation? You know what? That's kind of like that 6-minute pitch thing I talked about, which is, here, I'll go back up and show you it. But here's the thing. Yes, they're selling themselves to you a little bit, and it's you selling yourself to them, because like Moran talks about, you got to make sure that they want to make sure they're feeling like they're in a safe pair of hands of someone that can handle their company. They don't want to just have any, Tom, Dick, or Harry come in and give their business to you. It's ridiculous. So once again, you reach out. That 6-minute pitch is a conversation of saying, hey, look, why don't I tell you a little bit more my background and kind of what we're looking for, and also why I reached out to you, and then if it sounds like there's a mutual opportunity to keep the conversation going, we can always decide what the best next steps are from there. How does that sound, Bob? And Bob will say, yeah, for sure, I'd love to hear more about you. You go, hey, cool. So, and then kind of have like a story or a pitch ready about who you are, and ask them some questions about their business, like Moran gives you those questions and stuff. Let me see here. They don't, Karim, you asked, in the LinkedIn, would keeping track of dates get messy with the messaging scheme? They don't, because LinkedIn organizes it for you. Remember, for people within 24 hours is message 1. For 3 days ago, that whole bucket of 3 days ago is message 2. 6 days ago is message 3. So you just keep it focused like that. It's super simple. Reach out to Daniel. I gave you guys a link to talk to Daniel. Just book a call with him. His VAs do this on a day-to-day basis. You don't even have to worry about it. Just go talk to him. They'll handle it for you. Use LastPass. Exactly. Use LastPass. So Adam asked, do you track the metrics yourself, or does the VA? The VA does all that. I don't track any of the metrics. They know what to track. So I get Daniel to get his VAs to track exactly what I'm looking for. Do you think this would be a great time to buy a business? 100%, because right now people are in a space right now where they're in conservation mode or in survival mode, and maybe their business is a bit of a suffering point, and maybe you can bring some value to the table that overlaps what they're looking for. And I'll answer one more. For business acquisitions, do I need a different LinkedIn account? No, I just use the same one. I just use my real one. So Matt, the only work that you do in the end is doing phone calls. Hey, Ari, Yes, exactly. So I'm the only one that's closing deals. Here's the thing, guys. You got to think of yourself as an entrepreneur. You got to build machines. That's how you're going to build a sustainable thing. You got to take your marketing, and yes, there might be some labor in the beginning, but you got to build a machine that can scale. And so all I'm doing is handling all the phone calls and handling all the things that are worth at least $100 an hour or $1,000 an hour or $10,000 an hour. Anything that's $10 an hour tasks, I outsource it to virtual assistants. All right, guys, that's pretty much it. I hope this is helpful. We're at an hour and a half. I appreciate all of you for sticking online. I mean, we're at 74 people. I'm flattered that you guys all thought this was good. Any cool guys? Yeah, I really appreciate all of you. Hopefully Moran will have me come back and do some more trainings for you. And, you know, what we'll do is we'll do a poll later maybe to see kind of what you guys are looking for next when it comes to deal flow or deal origination from anything I went over here. There might be some certain spots we want to kind of deeper dive into, and we can do that. I'm happy to do that. Feel free to reach out to me privately. I might come up with a program later. Right now, we love our done-for-you service that we're focused on with working with private equity. So we're going to do that for now. What I would recommend to do is just reach out to Daniel if you're looking for virtual assistants to help with this stuff, and hit me up personally if you want to ask me any questions around deal making or anything like that. I'm happy to help. And obviously, yeah, it's great meeting all you, and I had a lot of fun here doing this session. So awesome, guys. Go get some deals. Go get some deals in the door and create this marketing machine for yourself. Thanks, guys. Talk to you later. Bye. Anton, you can end the meeting too, by the way. I think you're the owner. See you guys. Bye.